I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Do I have a microphone here or not? Okay, there we go. Wow. Hey, folks, sorry about that. Welcome back. Wow, microphone was just not lighting up. Didn't know if it was working. It appears to be working now. Let me just double check. Hang on a second here. Actually, one way for me to check this is the following. I was going to ask somebody if the mic is working, but I realize I can check this on my own with the sound. Here we go. Is it working? Hang on. Yeah, I can hear it. Is it working? Hang on. Wow, that's awkward. Sorry about that, folks. Welcome back to the program. That's a new one. Hadn't seen that before. Hopefully we're not having a problem with this brand new microphone. Welcome back to the program. The chat function is turned off for the news. I'll get through the news as quickly as possible here. Sorry about that. But a lot of people frustrated because people coming in asking questions unrelated to the news and disrupting the news program. So we'll get to the news. Should take 30 minutes or so, maybe less. Stick with us, and we'll be talking about events going on. So hang on. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get into the news so we can get to the conversation afterwards. A noted gangster from the Cape Flats apparently gunned down. Well, not gunned down, but in a shootout with cops, and is one of those who has lost his life. Breaking news. Khayelitsha's most feared resident believed to be among the top 5 killed in a shootout in the Eastern Cape cops. At least 5 suspects were killed in a shootout with police in Butterworth in the Eastern Cape. The shootout happened on the N2 near the Ndabakazi village. News 24 understands that one of those killed is from Cape Town, Khayelitsha's most feared resident, Yanga Bara Nyanyalara, who had numerous charges withdrawn against him in the past after witnesses were too scared to testify against him or were murdered. Eastern Cape police remain at the scene at this hour. Wow. That's a shocking development there in the Eastern Cape. South Africa needs to benefit from its minerals, says Cyril Ramaphosa, lecturing the G20, telling the world that South Africa needs to make money from its trillions of dollars worth of minerals. Ramaphosa opened the address talking about this. At the same time, used the occasion to beg for more money. He's going to say that South Africa will press for affordable interest on debts. Affordable interest on debts. Well, you have junk bond status. You're lucky you get loans at all because you don't pay them back. You don't have the money. So now he's going to tell people that you got to give us the loans at affordable rates. We've given South Africa plenty of money, and the government has wasted it over the years. Now, it's not enough for South Africa to insult President Trump and to lie to the world about expropriation without compensation, about its foreign policy activities undermining U.S. national security. That's not enough. As Cyril said, he'll get his friends to do the same thing to pressure the United States. Well, at the G20, on the fringes of it, we already see the Norwegians carrying the water for the regime of Cyril Ramaphosa. We don't come to the same conclusion as U.S. on South Africa, says Norway's foreign minister. And frankly, we don't care. Espen Barth Eide, we don't care what your conclusion is in Norway. You guys are hypocrites, carbon producers. We don't care. We've read the explanations the government has given, and we find them credible and do not come to the same conclusion as the U.S., he said. Well, thank you for sharing that, but we don't care what Norway's foreign minister says. He says, I think it's unfortunate that Rubio's not here. He'll miss a good meeting. All his colleagues are here, and my view is that coming to a meeting does not mean endorsement of what everybody else thinks. We have meetings also because we disagreed. If we all started in the morning agreeing on everything, why would we meet? Well, the fact that you've taken the G7 and bastardized it and turned it into the G20 means that people are not going to agree. It's too many people. That's why there's 5 permanent members of the Security Council with veto, not 150, not 55. Because the more people you have, the less likely you are to reach a decision, let alone agree on everything. So, this snarky, childish comment by the Norwegian foreign minister is epic. It shows you how disconnected the Europeans are. If they read expropriation without compensation, come to the conclusion that it's necessary to right historical wrongs, then they're just lying sacks of horse manure. Lying sacks of horse manure, ladies and gentlemen, because there's no need for expropriation without compensation because there's buttload of land under the control of the South African government. Millions of hectares sitting there doing nothing. This is not about land. This is not about righting historical wrongs. This is about 2 things: getting whitey and creating a tool to punish any opponent of the regime. That's the bottom line. And if the Norwegians are too stupid or too arrogant to see that, fine. On your own. So you really think that pissing us off is the way to get through this? No, not really smart. I think that Norway should shut its mouth and go back to polluting the planet with its oil production in the North Sea. I think it should do that. Well, government and national unity partners are seething over the budget debacle that happened yesterday, saying that they were consulted on where to spend money, but not on raising taxes. Oh, yes. Finance Minister Enoch Gondwan's budget speech was postponed on Wednesday. This is after the government and national unity could not agree on a proposed increase in the VAT by 2 percentage points from 15 to 17%. Political party leaders in the government and national unity first heard of the proposed increase to 2 percentage points in the value-added tax hours before Enoch Gondwan was set to deliver his budget speech. Once again, the ANC acting arrogantly as if they are running the country with a mandate. Not only do they not have a mandate, they don't even have a majority. You know, plurality of votes, but not a majority. But they're running around as if they are running the country. Meanwhile, the Independent Line reports that the G20 is South Africa's opportunity to enhance relationships with the European Union and with China. They don't need the G20 for that. Don't need G20 to enhance relations with this. By the way, Mr. Norway Foreign Minister, there's a reason we don't come to the meeting. If the meeting were being held in Norway or in Beijing or in France, the U.S. would have been there. But it's being held in South Africa, a country actively working against the foreign policy and the national security interests of the United States. A gray-listed country, a junk bond status, a home of narco-terrorist financing and money laundering. Yeah, so, we're not going there. What does it say about Norway that you go to the land of terror financing that's gray-listed, a country junk bond status, to lecture America? Yeah, this shall not be forgotten, Norway. You will not be forgotten. As tensions escalate between South Africa and the United States, driven by diplomatic barrage from U.S. President Trump's against Pretoria, renowned international relations expert and author Paul Zulungusi Tembe, who argues that the absence of key Washington politicians from Group of 20 meetings presents a unique opportunity. He's the founder and director at Cele Encounters, said the G20 meetings with the watered-down presence of the U.S. is a golden opportunity for South Africa to fortify relations with Africa, with the European Union, and Pretoria's leading trading partner, the People's Republic of China. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. The Democratic Alliance claims it 2 weeks ago it rejected a VAT increase. DA leader John Steenhuisen has rejected an analyst criticism that the budget upset on Wednesday could partly be attributed to the failure of the DA and smaller parties in the government to demand details of the proposed tax increases much earlier than the day that it was being delivered. Well, what kind of analyst makes that comment? Multiple political parties have said that they were caught off guard by this and unaware that there was going to be a tax increase. So here's some analysts make that claim. Yeah, that's rubbish. Unless you've got inside information that you're unwilling to share with us, Mr. Analyst. Meanwhile, 6 people have passed away, folks, as heavy rain and mudslides are ravaging KwaZulu-Natal province. The death toll was confirmed by KwaZulu-Natal Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, MEC, Tulanzizwe Buthelezi. Buthelezi said the inclement weather caused flooding in the eThekwini metropolitan, especially in the southern areas. Included Amazimtoti, Morton, Clarewood, Isipingo, and other areas. Well, Erica, man, Amazimtoti hit by this flooding, 6 deaths in the area. Whew. How's that Western Cape looking now? I bet pretty good. Duly noted. Pretoria tells Washington as U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent skips the G20 along with Marco Rubio. Duly noted. Yeah, well, there's no nicer place than South Africa. Yep, no nicer place than South Africa. I get this on good authority, ladies and gentlemen. None other than Julius Malema. Juju says that there's no better place. Just that the farmers are stingy and they need to learn how to share. Says the man with Breitling watches, Land Cruisers, having never worked a day in his life. Juju, thanks to tell us. He deigns to tell us. Well, EFF President Julius Malema has hit back at Elon Musk for calling him an international criminal. During the weekend, this past weekend, he appeared at an auction mostly attended by white farmers in Rustenburg, where he told them that there's no nicer place in the world than South Africa, and that he's not trying to chase them away. Why are you calling them stingy? Oh, Juju, the web we weave. Nick Headley in News 24 says, losing at Go is not really a big deal, folks. It's not a big deal. So then why are you so worried about it? He said, while it's not insignificant and far from ideal, it probably wouldn't be as catastrophic as many are making out to be. In 2022, South Africa sold 237 billion rand worth of goods to the U.S., but only 59 billion of that was under a Go. So, hey, $3 billion, what's that? That won't hurt us. Do you know it's only 1% of South Africa's foreign trade? Given an economy that has less than 1% annual GDP growth and unemployment over 40%, gray listed junk bond status, do you think you really can afford to give up 1% of your foreign trade there, Mr. Headley? Please tell me how that's insignificant. Well, he does make one valid point. U.S. consumers are likely just to buy the stuff anyway because, it's 2.5% tariff that will be added to the goods, and we'll probably absorb it as consumers. That's a good point. So then why do you care if you lose for a GOA status? Shouldn't be a big deal. Why we got all this whining from South African politicians that we're attacking South Africa? No. Having removed that status, we're already hearing the lies. So, gosh, imagine how loudly they'll squeal like little pigs running around when we do cancel that here in the United States. Well, not me, the government. The Democratic Republic of Congo, unrest is fueling refugee crisis as they pour into neighboring Burundi. Burundi is dealing with the biggest influx of refugees in 25 years as families flee the escalating conflict in DRC. Rwanda-backed M23 rebels have made big gains, securing the cities of Goma and Bukavu, prompting warnings to the UN Security Council and stoking fears of a regional conflagration. Meanwhile, the South African National Defense Force is nowhere to be found in combating and stopping the M23 from advancing and harming civilians. Isn't that why they're there? Europe's leaders rally around Zelensky after Trump labels the Ukrainian leader a dictator. Look, it's the United Kingdom's dictator, the fascist Keir Starmer. Look at that, shaking hands with the grifter-in-chief. European leaders have rallied to the defense of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky after he was criticized by President Trump on Wednesday. Trump's remarks sparked consternation across Europe and the wider West, which has hitherto been, for the most part, uncritical of the government in Kiev and has largely lavished praise on Zelensky and swiftly rallied to defend him. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said Zelensky was a democratically elected leader and that it is perfectly reasonable to suspend elections during wartime, as UK did during World War II. Oh, it's strange. The United States never suspended elections during wartime. We didn't suspend them. Why did you feel the need to do that? Well, the CIA apparently has been operating drones in Mexico. Ooh, watch out for the CIA, folks. They're busy. CIA is operating covert drone operations into Mexico to spy on drug cartels. Sources have revealed that the Trump administration has intensified a program that was begun by the Biden regime, targeting fentanyl laboratories in Mexico. The covert operation, which began under Biden but has expanded under Trump, employs sophisticated drone technology to detect chemical signatures from fentanyl production facilities. CIA officials then share the intelligence with Mexican authorities. But I thought Mexico was angry at us. But they're cooperating on the drone program. Interesting. President Trump has signed another executive order, this one ending benefits for criminal alien invaders. Look at that. Criminal alien invaders no longer get benefits. He signed executive order Wednesday evening that terminated any taxpayer benefits that may be going to illegal immigrants. He also asked agencies to try to block money that goes to support sanctuary policies. He signed the executive orders aboard Air Force One. Why are illegal aliens getting benefits? That's crazy. Donald Trump says he's going to sign more tariffs. Oh my goodness, folks. Will it ever end? We're getting a little nervous here. Those of us who are free market capitalist traders like myself can start to worry about these tariffs just a little bit. They've been effective, but how far will we take it? Well, Donald Trump is going to slap them on lumber. That will be, of course, targeted at the Canadians who sell lumber from government land in Canada at subsidized prices and flood the U.S. market. President added a new category of products to previously planned tariffs. He said that he'll soon announce new tariffs on lumber and other forest products. It's going to have a big impact on America. We're bringing our businesses back. If they don't make their product in America, then very simply, they'll have to pay a tariff. But if they do make their product in America, then they don't have to pay any tariff, which will bring trillions of dollars into our treasury, or it's going to mean there won't be any taxes because we want to have a fair trade base. The tariffs will also extend to forest products, and he's likely to impose them about the 2nd of April. More tariffs. Senator Jack Reed, a Democrat from Rhode Island, said Trump's tariffs and other misguided policies are raising the cost for consumers and squeezing small business. Yeah, untrue. What goods have gone up as a consequence of tariffs? Because most of them aren't even in effect right now. The ones against Canada and Mexico were delayed. Meanwhile, an appeals court has denied President Trump's bid to reinstate Birthright citizenship order, suspending it. A federal appeals court declined to set aside a nationwide injunction against Trump's order, paving the way for a potential Supreme Court showdown. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. The Ninth Circuit. Yeah. Who would have guessed the Ninth Circuit is behind this? The crazy liberal left wing. I know there's a Trump-appointed judge on there, but out in San Francisco, the Ninth Circuit Court strikes down the president's executive authority. Imagine that. And every time that they've done it in the past, since previous administration, they were subsequently overruled because they overstepped their bounds. Well, the Ninth Circuit Court declined to request to immediately lift the nationwide block. Justice Department lawyers had argued the court's injunction, which blocked Trump's order nationwide after a lawsuit from 4 Democratic-led states, was harmful because it stymied Trump's effort to address the ongoing crisis at the southern border and implement immigration policy designed to combat significant threats to national security. The 3-judge panel unanimously rejected the request, with Judges William Canby and Mylan Smith writing in their order that the administration had not made a strong showing that it would succeed on the merits of the appeal. Well, we shall see. The 14th Amendment is a little bit vague on this issue, and I believe there is wiggle room here for Trump. But it is the one Trump action that I think is on shaky legal ground because the 14th Amendment can be interpreted to be just the opposite. Media elites are calling for a boycott of the Trump administration over its banning of the Associated Press from the White House press conference room. The battle between White House and establishment media is escalating as the Associated Press's refusal to recognize the Gulf of America as the official name has led to a full-on conflict with President Trump's administration. And the likes of Jim Acosta, the failed, boring, useless former CNN anchor and snarky little fake White House correspondent, is leading a charge in the private sector to go against the White House. President Trump receives widespread backlash, according to leftist Guardian newspaper, over social media posts calling himself king. In a sarcastic, comical posting on Truth Social, Donald Trump referred to himself as the king. Congestion pricing is dead. He's talking about New York City's idiotic fleecing of motorists. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king. Someone took a photograph of the Man of the Year with Trump and put a crown on it. And so he sarcastically put that online. And now the left are losing their mind. They're melting down. They are melting down, folks, melting down. Well, a couple more things here in the news, and we'll get to it. Okay, the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, our current defense secretary, has ordered the Pentagon to draw plans for big cuts. He's told senior officials to prepare to trim 8% from the budget over each of the next 5 years. Wow, that is a huge cut. 8% per year for 5 years. 8%, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that's going to be about $50 to $60 billion a year in budget cuts for the Pentagon, which means the budget is not going to increase like it does every year. We're approaching $900+ billion a year in defense spending, while our allies mostly sit on their ass. There are a few exceptions. Many of Trump's early actions are unpopular, says an Ipsos poll with the Washington Post. Let's see. Overall, 43% of Americans say the support the president has done during his first month in office, with 48% saying they oppose it. Those who strongly oppose outnumber those who strongly support, 37 to 27. Almost 9 to 10 Republicans support his actions, while 9 to 10 Democrats oppose them. Well, should that come as a surprise to anyone? Anyone at all? 9 and 10? Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, exciting news. Egypt, the first royal tomb has been uncovered in over a century. Not since Howard Carter unveiled Tutankhamun's grave has this been happening. Now another king, another pharaoh. First pharaoh's tomb found in Egypt since Tutankhamun. Egyptologists have discovered the first tomb of a pharaoh since that one over a century ago. King Thutmose II's tomb was last undiscovered royal tomb of the 18th dynasty. The British Egyptian team has located in the western valleys of the Theban necropolis near the city of Luxor. Researchers had thought the burial chambers of the 18th dynasty's pharaohs were more than 2 kilometers away, closer to the Valley of the Kings. The crew found it in an area associated with the resting places of royal women, but when they got into the burial chamber, they found it decorated, the sign of a pharaoh. Part of the ceiling was still intact with a blue painted ceiling with yellow stars on it. The blue painted ceilings with yellow stars are only found in kings' tombs. The emotion of getting these things is just one of the extraordinary bewilderment because when you come across something you're not expecting to find, it's emotionally extremely turbulent. And when I came out, my wife was waiting outside, and the only thing I could do was burst into tears. Fascinating, folks. They found Thutmose II's mummified remains 2 centuries ago, but its original burial site had never been found. So now they found his original burial site. Check it out. He was an ancestor to Tutankhamun, whose reign is believed to have been from 1493 to 1474 BC. The tomb was found by British archaeologists back in 1922. Wow. Pretty amazing stuff there, folks. There's the team from the New Kingdom Research Foundation, Egypt's Antiquities Ministry, who found the tomb. Congratulations to the Egyptologists on this discovery. No doubt a fantastic historical discovery for them. Pretty exciting stuff there, folks. Thanks for being here. We're going to open up the chat here in just a moment. Let me do that very quickly, and then we'll get into any conversation, any questions that you may have today we'll entertain. And let me just get in here and take care of that very quickly. So I have to change this. Customization. We'll turn the chat back on. The live chat is on. If you're a subscriber, you'll now be able to chat on the channel. Thank you for your patience as we got through the news. As I said, it would go quickly today. So there it is. You should be able to chat now. Hang around here, folks. And we will... Is anybody chatting? I don't see any chatting taking place. Refresh chat. There we go. There we go. Chat's back. All righty. Goody. All right. Let's see what happens here. All right, folks. While this gets fired up and you're all joining us here to chat and get your questions out there, listen to this. Check out this artificial intelligence generated song. Incredible lyrics. This song was made for me. I called it Colonel Wyatt's Anthem. Last night I received it from one of my newer viewers, and I put some photos to it. So please enjoy this, and then we'll chat when it's finished.
Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it
Subscribe now. Don't miss the brawl. Thank you to my viewer who put that AI song together. Pretty cool. Hey, folks, there was a question here. I'll get the question. I'm going to go back and catch other stuff because I don't want to miss this question. It came up a few moments ago by someone who's obviously been patient waiting for me to get through the news, which was rather short. Jan van Riebeck is back. How's it going, man, from the 17th century? Tell me how it's going. There it is. Jan van Driel says, can you explain how the school system works in the States, please? Here we have primary school from 7 to 13, high school from 14 to 18, and then university. The United States, normally what happens is people go to kindergarten. I never went to kindergarten. And normally people start school usually around the age of 6, primary school. It's not set. Your birthday has an impact on that. In my case, I was 4 years old when I started first grade. 4 years old. But the reason I was 4 is because I would have had to wait till I was almost 6 and then turned 6. And most people went to school at 5 when I started primary school a long time ago. So my birthday's Christmas Day. They let me start, and I started at the age of 4, first grade. Anyway, so I started there, Adolf Pretorius. So normally people start on 5 or 6, go to primary school for 6 years. Middle school is 2 years, 7th and 8th grade. Some high schools are divided into middle school with 3 years and 3 years in high school. But essentially, high school is still 4 years, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and you graduate. Some people graduate early. I graduate at the age of 17, not early, but graduate 17 and attend university at 17. So that's how schooling works here. Schools, mostly people go to public schools, which are financed by local property taxes normally, sometimes augmented by the state and occasionally by the federal government. Many inner city schools are failing around the country, and they are funded largely by the federal government, which is one of the reasons why they're failing. There's a lack of parental involvement and all kinds of issues there. So that's kind of how the schools work. We don't have a matric. We don't do such a silly thing as matric to decide who goes out to university. We simply, most states don't have a passing out exam to graduate high school. You just finish your courses. If you have enough passing marks, then you get out. But there are some states that have a standard like that. They were trying to implement that when I was in high school 40-some years ago, and they never got around to it in my state. But each state is different. Education is a local situation. It's not a national one. That's why the Department of Education is such an abomination. Mickey says, sorry I missed your great guest earlier. Well, if you watched it after the fact, that's okay too. Maggie, I'm interested to hear what the Colonel thinks of the new Equitable Access Land Bill. I can't find any information on it. Ronaldo did a video. I haven't watched the video. He talked about it. He gave a link. I went to the link. There's nothing there. There's no audio. There's no video. I looked. The only place I could find anything on it was from the Freedom Front Plus. They did a quick little news blast on their webpage, and that's it. So I really, without being able to see the content of it, I really can't comment. I will look for it later today and see if I can't find something on it. So stay close, Maggie, and I'll take a look at it. Easy 12, Gamer 12, when would they, what is this? When are they just going to take the land and get over with? Well, they already started doing that in Sisheho, in Polokwane, also outside of East London. It's already happening, and other places. Here to hear his inputs for the exact same thing. At this stage, anything crazy or sounds like conspiracy theory you can think of it in your mind is a possibility. That's true. The G-Man, Marty, Charles Van Altzen, the voice of reason. Why must we be paying restitution 30 years after apartheid? Why must I be held accountable for someone else's sins? Make it make sense. There's no sunset clause to any of these policies. Exactly. And that's why the Norwegians are scumbag race-hating supporters by backing this nonsense. We looked at it. We saw nothing wrong with it. You see nothing wrong with it? Okay, I'll tell you what, you Norwegian raiders, start taking some of that oil money and paying us because you ravaged Ireland, fleeced and raped and took women from Ireland and took them to the Orkneys and took them to Iceland and Greenland. You took them, and if you don't think that's true, we have the DNA evidence. We have the receipts. We can prove it in the Icelandic population and the Norse population of Greenland, which is extinct. But their bones were around. We can check that out. I know us. So we got Tinka Andre. Welcome to you. Rebel Refugee. Keith Alderson's in from Coventry. Chris Leonard, Vilma Erasmus, IMS. Even 100 years from now, minorities will still be blamed for them. Yep, exactly. Who else we got here? Yolanda van Rensburg. And who else feels drained absorbing all the news? Wow, you think you feel drained, Rebel? Try reporting on, analyzing, and staying ahead of the game. Really falling behind on my own responsibilities here, but it's not a major issue because this is actually time. This is from a scheduling standpoint, this was an apropos time for all this nonsense to happen for me because I have a window here where I'm not obliged to do other things. I do need to get my taxes done, but I have until April to get that done. But the sooner I get it done, the more likely is I'll get my return if I have one because they're going to fire all the IRS employees. I want to get my money before they fire the IRS employees. Of course, conversely, if I owe them, which I don't think is the case this year, then I'm not in a hurry. But anyway, so I got to get that done. But I've got consulting coming up beginning of March, so that's still a couple weeks away. And then in early April, I have some more consulting coming up. And the election, I'm a judge of elections here, and that is on May 20th. So my window will be between the end of the first week of April until May 20th for travel. In the meantime, I've got some spare time here to focus on these events. Yolanda van Rensburg, welcome to you. Istefak, hello. Blade Wolf, Kioma Fenter, Chronic 206, Waldo, Delaney Hall, Grumpy Gamer, Odin's Viking, Bo Smith, Crystal Els, Cool, Charles, Yappy, Tim Forster, Mike, Neville Purden, Neville, how's your mom? Chris Leonard, Joachim Fenta, M is back, Jarethra, welcome Jarethra. Thanks for the work. You're very welcome, Fung Wan Wannabe. You're back again. Did you see the Daily Maverick Trump's refugee long wait? I did not. What did the Daily Maverick claim? Let's go to the Daily Maverick. Daily Maverick has proven to be a bit unreliable, and so I've looked at it less and less. I don't see anything here. Let me do a search on their website. I'll just search for Trump. Or I'll do refugee. That's probably easier. R-U. Do a search refugee. Let's see what turns up from Daily Maverick while I do a search there. Parliament urge, U.S. Treasury, Israel, migrants to Panama, Burundi. There's nothing here on anything on refugees and Trump. So I don't know where that came from on the Daily Maverick. Antoinette. 1440, welcome Xander van Rensburg, Peter Lindy, Marquis Pretorius, Basic Pups, Yomas Production. Good to see you again there. Niels Blitz. Hang on a second here. I've got something I've got to deal with very quickly here. Oh, God bless it. Okay. All right. This is a hiring action over here. So we got a person. I asked for someone to check references and also find out why this person wasn't working at another location and make sure they didn't leave on bad terms. So we just confirmed that she didn't leave on bad terms. So for those of you telling there's no jobs in America, if you come here as a refugee, you won't find work. Well, we're about to hire someone right here. So what's up? Jan van Riebeck, Chantel Boyson, Tanya De Beer, George Steinberg was in from Heckport, Oki, Mr. Fark, Pierre Rousseau, Antoinette. Can you explain? I did that. Heidi Kruger, welcome. Have you seen the latest bill? Yeah, that's the one they're talking about here. I haven't seen the bill. No one can show me the bill, where it's at. Jaden Brown, your Streamlabs tip link in your description is down. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you. No one's ever tried to use it before, Jaden. No one's ever tried to use that, to my knowledge, so that might explain why it's down. That's the one that's generated by Streamlabs. I don't even make that. So yeah, Streamlabs got some problems here. I mean, I pay these clowns for the software, and it's half-assed to say the least. Well, if you don't like using the super chat function, you can also do this, PayPal. By the way, people started sending me emails and say, hey, you're not answering my emails. You're not answering my emails. You're not answering my emails. And I got a message from it in a different fashion. I said, what emails? What are you talking about? I know I'm way behind emails, but when did you send it so I can go look for it? And I come to find out they're sending it to this address. I never said you could send email to that address. Where do people get that presumption? That account only exists for PayPal functions. That's all I use it for. Don't use it for anything else. So assumptions are dangerous, folks. Assuming that I read that email is a risky business. I'm rarely in that email. So anyway, just saying. But if you want a PayPal, you can do that. It's a lower cut. YouTube doesn't take 30% of that. And what PayPal charges is just a few percentage. So if you want a super chat. Anyway, thank you very much. Hopefully that solves that, Jaden. I'm sorry about the link from Streamlabs. Beyond the Storm loves this song. Okay. Ashley Engelbrecht, how you doing? And then Fleshin's in. Hey, Fleshin, how have you been? I haven't noticed you in the chat lately. Maybe I missed it because there's a lot of people chatting. Kristen, Dylan, Wern, Yappy, Avega, fuck, okay. Ronell, and Carlos Buto's back. Trevor Bush. There's some OGs, some original names in there. Antoinette says, handsome young man. Well, thank you for that. I thank the DNA I inherited. Wish the refugee program could launch, says Joachim Fenta. Well, yeah, I'm sure, but we're not going to know when, so we have to just play it by ear. Sue Walsh. You look handsome in your young years, so I'm not handsome now. Sue. You're trying to get on my bad side. Jean Epic, good. Howdy. Could the mainstream media please follow through with their boycott? Then we don't have to suffer their incessant lies. Yeah, I agree. Go ahead and boycott the White House press room. We'd love that. We'll fill it up with content creators instead. This video song really brings tears to the eyes. Oh, it's your retro. Dwayne Furry, hello to you. Nice song. Okay. You might need to tell Samsung phone users to log out of stream and log back in to trigger chat update. Oh, yeah. Well, it's not just Samsung phone. A lot of people have to do that sometimes. Just refresh your browser and come back in. Foreign exchange needs a travel ticket as proof, so we can't change our rand into dollars. Scared the rand dropped. Huh? Mr. Sarduck, what are you saying? You're saying that if you want to change your dollars in your rand into dollar right now, the foreign exchange won't do that for you? You have to show a plane ticket? Is that what you're saying? That's interesting. Is that even legal? Why should they have the license to trade in currency if they won't trade in currency? Or is the government behind that? Is the government behind that? That could be the case. Wow. I really enjoyed Franz Kronia and Rob Hershoff, says George. So did I. Thank you. Jan Fundil. So in the U.S., they have kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, and high school. That's correct. And we have public schools, and I'll get to the super chat in a moment. Public schools. We have private parochial schools, Catholic schools primarily. And then we also have homeschooling. And so we have military schools. But military schools don't usually start until you get to junior high and high school, like Valley Forge. That's for high school students usually. The G-Man likes the photos. And Marissa Besselar says hello. Hello. Loretta Foncel, welcome to you. There's Eric. I was beginning to wonder where Eric was at. And I haven't seen Hendo yet. He must be tired we're running him ragged. Line in the sand, good evening to you. Gerard, that beard goes hard. Adsy Dysel says, good morning. I was watching the release of the Bebas mother and children bodies being returned. Very emotional. How can human beings so evil? Well, yeah. No, how can human beings be so evil in Cabo Delgado where they chopped people alive? They chopped them apart with pungas. Sickening. And they're killing black Mozambicans, being killed by black Mozambicans, hacking them apart while they were alive. It's unbelievable. Beating them senseless and then, removing their body. I'm sorry to be gross, folks, but no, human beings can be quite evil. And I mentioned that a little bit in one of my chats. Was it today or yesterday with Franz Kronig? I'm not sure which. They're going to run together now about the evilness of human beings and how the naivety of thinking you don't need police and you don't need military because you do. There's always people who will take advantage of other human beings. Jan van Riebeck says, I see communists around SABC State and USA will attend G20. No, we'll be there. No, we're there. No, Jan, I said that all along. Just because the Secretary of State's not there and just because the Secretary of Treasury is not there doesn't mean the United States isn't present. We have a presence. And I said it, and when I said this, when it was announced, I said what will happen is they'll treat them like stepchildren and they'll exacerbate the problem. So instead of giving them the respect they're due. So this happened to me. I was sent to Abuja to be part of a conference on organizing the multinational task force to go against Boko Haram. It was an existing task force based in N'Djamena, Chad, with countries Niger and Chad, Nigeria, and Cameroon involved in it. And we're supposed to re-energize it, re-equip it, redefine a doctrine and rules of engagement for the multinational task force to go after Boko Haram. So I went in my boss's stead. Ambassador Ruben Briggany was my boss. And as a senior military advisor to him, he sent me there to represent him. I didn't go there to be a conference attendee and sit in the back of the room. So I came there, and there was a place spot for the ambassador from the United States mission to the African Union. So I went up, I introduced myself, I sat down at the table. Boy, the death stares I got from ministers and other governments and from my own State Department delegation. And then I had someone in the State Department come to me and tell me that I was inappropriate and disrespectful. I said, how so? Well, that seat's not for you. I said, it's for the ambassador. Yeah, you're not the ambassador. I said, I never claimed to be ambassador. I didn't introduce myself as ambassador. I introduced myself as who I am, representing the ambassador. That's the ambassador's seat. I'm here to represent the ambassador. Therefore, I sit in that seat. The ambassador doesn't get relegated to the second and third row of seats, which is where my chair was, just because he's not here. Super chat. Thank you for the super chats. So just, some people, their concept of decorum and how things work are just really bizarre. Ansi Deisel says, oh, you saw that. Okay, Jan. So we'll have representatives there. SABC, I don't know what they said, but yes, we'll have representatives there. It just won't be the senior people. And I said they're probably going to be stupid and not put them at the table where they should be. All right. I'm catching up here, getting close here, folks. I'm getting closer. Tough 2 days. Mom's breathing. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully she'll get better. Best place to catch some big carp in USA. Carp? Ugh. I don't eat that crap. You can catch carp all over. Mississippi's probably got them. I'm not a carp person, so I wouldn't even know where to tell you on that. Europeans see their daughters being raped in the streets, but everything is fine. We find younger European expats traveling to try to get out, even just for a short while. Good evening, Marius Venter. Armageddon. What is this? Oh, he's talking Armageddon. Okay. Last night I took out my family's Stottenbibel, and they were reminded that though we were called colonized, that my forefathers and mothers paid for every inch of land with our blood. It's true. It's true. Zacharias Joubert, appreciate you. Got my mom to watch tonight. Well, hey, Zacharias, welcome to your mom. Good to see you there. Marna Krug, I missed that. Mario Ferreira. Mario's got the USA flag there. Amy's here. Well, we are here to support you. Well, thank you, Amy. Oh, appreciate it. Amy's a good egg, man. Did you hear about the 80% bill? Yes. Yeah, it confirms a lot of people's suspicions, but I haven't seen the bill, so it's hard to comment on it. The Franz Coney interview was awesome. Wish you could schedule a longer one. Yeah, well, it's because that's when he was available, and I have the Wednesdays with the Colonel, and I didn't want to just, imagine me. You think I wanted to end that conversation? We had 3,700 people on the stream. That's a ton of ad revenue for those who watched it after the fact because it draws a lot of people, larger audience, and it's more importantly, it brought more subscribers in. That interview had 3,700 peak, 3,200 was the minimum throughout most of it, and then when he was on there, we had 28,000 during that live stream in less than an hour. It's over 50,000 right now. That's incredible. That's the best interview I've ever done as far as people watching it, which is pretty cool. Even better than the one I did with Rob Hersoff a few weeks ago. So thank you for that. Intrepid traveler, my Afrikaner great-grandmother passed her very unique Viking DNA to me, and now I live in a very Viking island. My brain is spinning, says Armageddon. Okay, what do you know about the new bill? I don't know much about it with love because it's not anywhere. I haven't seen it. Ronaldo talked about it this morning, but he gave us a link. I went to the link. There's nothing there. So I will try to find out what I can as soon as I can, and I'll give you my analysis. What's your thoughts on Trump's comments on Zelensky? Personally, I'm shocked as Hamas did exactly the same thing to Israel. I'm not sure what you mean, Sanel, that Hamas did the exact same thing to Israel. My comments on Trump is that, once again, he oftentimes inartfully says things. I would not have said that Zelensky and Ukraine started the war because they didn't. I would say that they're responsible for the war kicking off because of their intransigence in talking to the Russians who got frustrated with them and came across the border. Amandra Broderick, thank you for your subscription. I would say that the start of the war is entirely attributable to Joseph Biden's ineptitude and cowardly foreign policy. Any idea what the U.S. will do with its enormous new embassy in Windhoek? It sits near empty. A lot of local NGOs in panic after they cancel. Well, they'll use the embassy. The USAID's program isn't that large number-wise, people. The embassy in Windhoek is not that large anyway. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. I've seen the old embassy, but I've been in Namibia in, over 10 years. It's been a while. I'm due to go to Namibia. Wish I could go on this next trip. But I don't know what the issue is there, but the US will use it. We have plenty of uses for our building. We wouldn't have spent the money otherwise. Hey, Debbie. Don't know if you saw it, but there's now a U.S. attorney that's making videos about U.S. law in the context of the refugee program called Even Globiter, a collab. I don't know who that is. U.S. making videos about U.S. law in the context of the refugee program. Wesley from Ak, Ronaldo's the reason I came across your stuff. Thanks for the honest news coverage. Well, okay, Wesley, cool. Great show with Rob, says Transvaal. Okay, Martinez says, if I take the refugee opportunity, what's waiting for me over there? I have a trade. Would I be allowed to enter the education system? Well, what do you mean? But you got to help me out here. You have a trade. Okay, a trade is not an education system. That's completely different. Do you mean could you teach at a technical school, some sort of trade? Yeah, but that depends what you're talking about. So here's the thing you have to understand. States have certification for educators. If you're certified to teach in Ohio, you can't go teach in Maryland. You probably can. You may have to take a course or two. Maybe you don't. But you can't just go from one to the other because they each have standards. I would have had to stay at university for another year and a half in order to qualify to be a teacher for high school history, which is one of my desires. I want to teach history in high school. It wasn't a good career decision. I'm glad I didn't do it. But that's what my goal was when I was younger. And so I didn't focus on American history. But in order to teach history in Ohio, no matter what your focus is in high school, you have to be full of American history. So I would have taken a bunch of American history classes that I never took at university, and I didn't need to take them. I knew American history. Why did I need to waste my time at university? I can focus on other things like learning Swahili, which is what I did. So they would have made me go back to school for another year to take those courses, plus sociology, psychology, counseling classes to be qualified to be a teacher. And then in Ohio, you have to take so many college courses every couple of years or you lose your certification. It's insane. I understand the good intent behind it, but it's really insane and difficult. And, it's not like anybody's paying your tuition. You have to do that yourself. So I'm not sure what you're asking there, but I suspect you're asking, would you be able to teach at a trade school? Well, if you meet the qualifications for the state you're in, if there's qualification for teaching at a trade school, university, there isn't any requirement at university to my knowledge. So for instance, I taught at university in Iowa State. There's no requirement for me to have any certification to teach there. It's tertiary education. That's a little bit different. Paul Van Niekerk, what's this? Okay. ANC's planning a new bill. Thank you, Blade Wolf. I got that already. Okay. Yep. Christmas. Yep. Charmaine left an urgent message for me on WhatsApp. I have a meeting at 7 p.m. Okay. Charmaine. Okay. There's Charmaine. Urgent message. New law. Okay. Okay, and there's the link, and that's going to be the same link that Ronaldo gave me, and there's nothing there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you. This is not helpful. I appreciate the offer there, Charmaine, but this doesn't help me out. This is what Ronaldo showed me. Am I missing something here? I don't see a recording listed anywhere. I see that people are participating in the meeting, but there's no minutes. There's no. Oh, there's a media state. Oh, there's the audio. Got it. Okay, I found it. My bad. I found the audio, but it's like an hour and a half. It's 3 hours long.
Improvement, disposal of property, and the provision of financial assistance.
That's a horrible recording. I mean, honestly, folks, do you expect me to listen to a 3 hour recording? I mean, I just finished my live broadcast 3 hours ago. I will listen to it and try to make sense of it. I heard Trump wants to audit Fort Knox. No, it's happening, Dave. It's not wants to do it. It hasn't been audited since like 1974, I think they said. I don't know the last time. ANC's planning a new bill. Okay, so that's what that was right there. Thank you for that, Charmaine. Got it. She sent it at 11:29, so it's about a half hour ago. Yappy said, did you just fart? Nope, this chair squeaks the leather when I move. That's why I often over the microphone, so when I shift, I don't make noise. But if you think it's a fart, did you smell it? Why don't you ask me that question? If I take a refugee opportunity, okay, that's Martin. Sorry. Okay, let me get back to the chat now. I'm trying to go backwards and catch everything. Get back the other direction here now. Herman Volke says, I hope you're well. Hope some don't work you up too much. No, I'm not worked up. Best place to catch some big carp. That's where I was at before. Okay, you look tired. Please take a break. Well, I am tired. I've only gotten 3 hours sleep. I work for wind farms and solar farms. OVS asks for a transfer already. George, do you have a permanent residency card? Are you here? And what are you asking for a transfer for? Is this related to the refugee program? You got to be very careful there. You can't get refugee status if you're in America. Keep that in mind. Awesome song. You like that? Okay, cool beans. So do I. I'm an IT administrator, but we'll even go lumberjacking. I think the article is Trump's Afrikaner refugees could be in for a long wait if previous U.S. policies apply. Well, yeah, but that's the problem. So this is also the problem. Y'all don't watch my videos. Some of you did, so that's not direct to you. But listening to bullshit from someone else, I talked about this in my video. Talked about this. I did 2 videos. I went to trouble last night, make 2 videos yesterday. Instead of getting arrested and doing something else, I made the videos, and they're very clear about eligibility for missions and about the programs. So first off, I'm going to cover this right now once again for those 772 people listening. I think a fair number of whom are interested in the refugee program. The reality is this, folks. People are telling you things, and they may be giving you factual information, but they have no analytical capability because they're not very bright. They're telling you this. We do not know how long it will take. We do not know who will be eligible other than Afrikaners, and we do not know when. That said, yes, there's an existing refugee program. There are 7.6 million refugees waiting for resettlement in Africa alone. In 2023, the United States took in 30 or 40,000 of those people. 30 or 40,000, not 7.6 million. So at that rate, their conclusion would be, that'll take forever. But the United States isn't the only country that takes refugees. we're one of the more generous, not the most generous. Turkey takes more than anybody. So that's the first problem with that. Second problem with that is that none of this matters. The refugee resettlement program is frozen. I've said this many, many times. January 20th, President Trump issued an executive order freezing the refugee resettlement program. And it has pissed the leftists off because 26,000 people around the world were about to get on planes in the next several weeks or months and come to America under this program. Now they can't come. They're frozen. So if there are refugees in Chad from Darfur, they stay in the camp where they're at. They're not coming to the U.S. If they're refugees in Tanzania from Mozambique, they stay there. They can't come here. So the left has lost its mind because Trump froze the program. But on the 7th of February, as one of the measures, in addition to withdrawing foreign aid to South Africa, the U.S. opened up the refugee program, and Trump told state and Homeland Security to prioritize the resettlement. So prioritize. Now, in a normal year, if we resettle anywhere from 50 to 150,000 refugees and South Africans are just one of that group, you have no priority. So you're going to get your allocation, whatever that might be, 5, 10,000, 20,000. These are just made up numbers. Don't run off and go, the colonel said 5,000. I didn't say that. I'm just walking through it because you all listening to this nonsense from other people. So whatever you would have gotten. But right now, how many people are coming in on the refugee program this year? Now, the fiscal year started in October, so we had October, November, December, January, 4 months. So 1/3 of the year went by. So all things being equal, let's say we're going to take in 100,000 refugees this year. I'm just making numbers up because people are making shit up anyway, but this is logical analysis. So if 1/3 of the refugees had come in already for 1/3 of the year before Trump took over, that's 33,000. Okay, so 33, that means there's room for 77,000 more under the existing program that was intended to take 100,000 target this year. That's, it could have been 150,000, could have been 50,000. So no one else can send refugees here right now until Trump lifts that freeze, except South Africa. So guess what? You're already at the front of the queue. He said prioritize. So even if the other countries were coming, you would get bumped to the top because Trump directed an executive order, and that's his authority. No one can question that. They can't run lawsuits against it. They can't be challenged. That's what the law says. The president prioritizes it. So boom. It's the president's report to Congress that tells where these people come from because he prioritizes, or she, whoever it is. So no one else can come right now. Only South Africans. So as soon as they announce this, guess who gets to go first? South Africans. And guess what? If there is a quota for the year, guess who gets to fill the whole thing? South Africa, because no one else can come. That could change. Trump could unfreeze the program, but that's the current situation. So people telling you it'll take this long, it'll take that long, based on past history, that may be true. It may also be very untrue. We don't know. But that person is doing that to dissuade people from participating in the program. That is intellectually dishonest. That is disingenuous. I'm not telling you it'll take 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years, because we don't know. It could be 3 weeks. Highly unlikely. It could be 3 years. Highly unlikely. It could probably somewhere like 3 months. Very practical, but we don't know. Stop listening to bullshit artists. If you don't listen to me, fine. That's your prerogative. No one's twisting your arm. But lawyers get paid. Immigration advisors get paid. All these people are looking to make money off you. I don't want your money. All these people want from you. I don't want anything from you except watching my videos. That's nice. Sharing them. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's the remuneration for me. Super chats are nice too, by the way. Not many of them coming in right now. But thank you for that. I would have sworn there more. It must have been the subscribers because I swore I heard the dingo more than twice. Got 2 super chats. So I have told you, don't listen to anybody. Just go to the whitehouse.gov site, read what the president puts out for executive orders, the one on January 20th, which froze the refugee program, and then the one on February 7th, which is specifically about this, the one that I've been quoting over and over again and reading thousands of times since February 7th. And beyond that, go to the U.S. Embassy website, ZA, U.S. Embassy, whatever it is, .gov, something like that, and go there. There are no other sources. You can go to the United States Customs and Immigration Service and find the form that's often used for people who are in refugee camps in Sudan or in Somalia, and they go through UNHCR and they come here, and that's all true. But those people sit in those damn camps for 10 or 15 years. That's how they come up with this 3-year average and why they're staying so long. Don't listen to that. We have done direct from country programs, and if you watch my videos, you will see that. I took the time to do the video, which people take the time to watch the video. The video says very clearly that we have in-country examples of where this is done differently. In fact, let me see if I got it still here up on the screen because I made that video. There, here you go. So Where's it at? Hang on. Here we go. Priority 2 group referrals include specific groups whose members warrant resettlement as identified by the Department of State in consultation with Immigration Services, NGOs, UNHCR, and other experts, or the President. Designations reflect the determination that a group is of special humanitarian concern to the United States and that the individual members of the group will likely qualify for admission as refugees under U.S. law. That would be Afrikaners, whatever the hell that's going to be. In special circumstances, direct access model for Priority 2 group referrals enable individuals to apply for access to the program based on meeting the designated criteria. The direct access model has operated largely for in-country programs. These buffoons are telling you about programs where people have fled and are in temporary refuge in another place. In-country programs, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Cuba, Eurasia, Baltics, and Vietnam. Trust me, we didn't make people wait 3 years to get out of an in-country program in Cuba. All right, so these are programs, these are exceptions. That's what I said. South Africa is a different case. It's not your standard refugee thing. You're not fleeing a war. Likely, for people granted refugee status from South Africa, you're probably going to walk up to OR Tambo and get on a frickin' plane and fly out, just like that. Nobody's shooting at you, no artillery exploding around you, none of that stuff, no buildings on fire, no, fake soldiers and rapists running around. So, anyway, So George's asked for a transfer. Well, okay, I got what you're saying. You asked for a transfer to work in the U.S., but the problem with that is if you get a visa to come here and work in the U.S., you're not going to get refugee status. And when your visa expires, you have to go home. You've been awake for 12 hours now. Thanks for everything. No, I haven't, PH. No, I appreciate you think, but I haven't been awake for 12 hours. I slept from, I couldn't sleep at 1:30. I finally fell asleep at 3. From 3 to 5:30, so 2.5 hours. And then after this is over, I went and got another hour of sleep. So I've got about 3 hours sleep. Yeah, Gerhard, I don't know about that. So I think they're telling you nonsense. Magda Visa, welcome to you. Irish descent. Okay. The G-Man, hit the like button. Okay. Wesley from Ak, please confirm if there's any way to apply for refugee status online. No, there's no way to apply for anything, Wesley. Just stop. Just full stop. There's no way to apply for anything. It doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. When the United States government makes a decision how this is going to be done, they'll let you know. But there is a form online. You can fill it out. You can submit it, but you're not submitting anything because the program doesn't exist. Bit confused. Well, you're confused because you're listening to the wrong people. Do we have to go physically? You may never go to the embassy. You may go to an NGO. Thank you for the super chat. You may go to an NGO. I read that as well. See, again, please watch the videos. Please watch the videos. I mean, I don't understand why it's so hard. I've told people. Let me find exactly what I'm looking for here. I have it here somewhere. I'm trying to find this here. No, it's not there. I had it somewhere else. Anyway, yeah. The bottom line is this: is that the government may employ a third party vendor, contractor, NGO to process folks. You'll get an interview. But we may hire people to do this. It just depends. Every situation is different. That's why all this bullshit about this and that lawyer said this and SABC said this and this they said that and this guy's got a website. Go listen to all of it. But none of them know their ass from a hole in the ground because none of them are telling you the truth. They don't know. They can give you an idea. And yes, you can get the form online, but that form may not be the form that's maybe a custom form for South Africa. So everybody needs to chill and just take a deep breath and hang in there. And I recommend you join the Telegram group for this. I'll put the Telegram group up. Any information comes out, I'm updating you from the government, not from some attorney in Atlanta or in Pretoria offering to help you get over here. No. My information comes directly from the U.S. government. You can also get it, and I refer you to it. And you can infer your own conclusions out of that. You're welcome to do that. And we may come to different conclusions. You may think one thing, I may think another, and that's fine. But the difference is I've worked in embassies. I've dealt with consular sections. I've gotten visas for people. I've sponsored official trips for people back to the States. I participate in this for decades. So I'm not exactly someone that has no idea what they're talking about. So anyway, but you can take that for what you want. Wesley says, love. Well, thank you, Leslie, for that. But yeah, you probably won't even go to the embassy. First off, you wouldn't go to the embassy. Now, if you go to Pretoria, you'll go to the embassy compound, but you're not going to the embassy. You're going to the embassy building, but you're going to the consular section. You're never going to the embassy. Embassy is for diplomats, state to state. consular sections are where we handle these affairs. And we have 4 consular sections in South Africa, if you were to be sent to one of those. Durban, Joburg, 1 Sandton Drive, Cape Town, and Hatfield. So there's 4 of them. So that's the other thing too. People are like, I can't go to Pretoria. It's too far away. Where do you live? I live in Amanzimtoti. Well, there's a consular section 15 minutes from you. Well, half an hour. It's in town. So yeah, first off, you got to be fully informed. We have diplomatic representation all over South Africa. Wraithus Thought, thank you for being in. Mickey Dangerous gave a 14 Rand super chat. Regular OBS is better than Streamlabs, just saying. No, it's not. It may not be crashing much, but it's not better. There's a reason I went with Streamlabs. Yep, I have OBS. It's here on my desktop. It's right there. I can see it. Little black circle with the little 3 kind of Isle of Man legs there. Emirata, Quentin, welcome to you. Quinn, welcome to you. You look tired. Please go take a break. I'm fine. The storm is barreling down upon South Africa. Huge change coming. Not sure if it's going to be extinction level event. New sunrise, Neptune. Yeah, it's a good point. Surprisingly, most people I talk to are not leaving. They will fight for South. Well, good for them, Sue. That's not surprising. I'm not surprised at all. I didn't expect a whole lot of people to take this offer up. I didn't expect a whole lot of people to take it up. If you come in May, we are going to miss each other again. I'm going to visit the Netherlands again. I said April, George. April and May. Was it vermaak? Ons allemaal wakker voor program. Okay. Ronaldo did a video on the proposal. Yes, he did. I know, Maddie, but he must have listened to the 3-hour thing. I didn't listen to it. Would like to know what you think of Ramaphosa's mention of Palestine and how happy he is for them at his G20 speech. I didn't hear him mention Palestine at the speech, but I'm not surprised. It just shows you the stupidity of giving presidency to backwards countries. I'm sorry, South Africans, but backwards countries with leaders who have no concept of leading, like Ukraine and South Africa and places like that. They really don't get the significance of the moment. See, South Africa thinks it's their forum. They think they're actually a participant in the G20. It was a nice little crumb that was fed to them. It was a mistake to give it to the ANC to let them be part of it. 486 likes. Well, that's cool. Let's boost the Colonel. Very important to do. Thank you very much, G-Man. South Africa's the blueprint. Protected elites are happy to lose your home. Trump is the bollard to this runaway truck. Thank you for another super chat, you guys. Hey, guys, a lot of small ones coming in. Don't super chat if you don't have the money. But, if you're rich, feel free to super chat. Really enjoying your streams. Don't want to miss any. Well, thank you, Etienne. I don't want to miss any either because then I wouldn't be here. Venmar says, an I2 guru, but we'll sweep McD's floors. Well, we pay $20 an hour to work at McDonald's. Climbing to $4.95. It says $6.71 on my side. So the whole East Coast is carp. We hunt them with fishing bows. Yeah, you can have them, light rain. Ugh, disgusting fish. Okay, I'm here just letting the people who need to chat do the chatting, says Fleshin. Okay, cool beans, Fleshin. Yeah. I want to thank the OGs, the 75 to 90, 120 people who have been here habitually, long time. A lot of you are not chatting, and I realize you're here. I just don't see it, so I kind of miss it. So Fleshin's one of those people. Dylan Comper is another. And they've kind of sat back and not really jumped in and just listened to everything, giving the newer viewers a chance to get their questions in there. That's very considerate of you. Thank you for that. Theodoros, the song is epic. You've been a lot of places. Oh, that's just scratching the surface, my friend. Very interesting. Thank you very much for that. Gideon says, hello, welcome. From which area I spoke to is just waiting for the American Embassy. Okay. Says Frank Bruns. Kilma, I'll be your PA for roof and a plate of food. You are. Okay, good mature wine. Okay, I'm really catching up. That's from like 15 minutes ago. I'm just catching up now. So, no, it's not. Yeah, it's half hour ago. Wow. Rob Hersoff is one of the top 5 billionaires in South Africa. Just love how he called the ANC stupid morons. He did do that. Yep. Ronell, link to the news article. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, no, shoot. It didn't work. Hang on. Go to the site. Come on, take me there. Okay, Biz Community. Nation grappled. Objective of the bill. Both so said. Work in tandem. Okay, thank you for that. That's not going to be enough for me to do a story on it. I'll use that, though. And there's a super chat. Walden said, just want to let you know that you changed my life. When I wake up, I pop earbud in, listen to the live stream, and after work, I don't watch TV anymore. Can't wait for your live streams. Are you serious? Thank you for the super chat, Mickey. Waldo, it's very kind of you. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. It's very humbling. What's your views on Trump's comments on Zelensky, Sanel? I might have already answered that. I think Trump probably should sometimes, not say things. Definitely Ukraine bears responsibility for the conflict starting, but they didn't start the war. Whoop says, Chris, thank you. You look tired. Please go take a break. Okay. Why is hang on a second here. My chat is locked up over here. I got to go back a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm convinced a lot more people are interested in the offer, but lots won't actually take the plunge. Yeah, no, Garrett, that's probably a very accurate assessment. A lot of people are expressing interest privately or here or, the South African Chamber of Commerce, but a lot of people will decide against taking the offer. Yeah, I think that's a very real possibility. My next video is going to talk about money. It's a rich man's world. Yeah, I'll be talking about money and the U.S. Refugee Resettlement Program. Yeah, the money you get, the money you have to pay back, the money you don't get, the Social Security you get, the Social Security you don't get, the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, food stamps. If you get them, you don't get them. I won't be able to give all the details because it's unclear. There are so many convoluted rules, and I don't want to mislead people, but I will tell you about the money that comes your way. By the way, if you have to come to America and it's on a commercial flight, we will pay for it, but you'll pay it back. Chris, thanks for your time and consideration. Says PH, you're very welcome. I watch the videos, even the older content, sharing the channel so people can subscribe and join regardless of the refugee thing. I noticed nearly all my comments disappear. Yes, Zlots, that's a YouTube thing. It's not me. My moderators never go back in my old videos, and I haven't looked at any comments in old videos recently, so that must be them. YouTube is strange things. Tins van Dunsburg, taking into account the huge uproar about the current fantastic suggestion from US for my people, can you chat about how many white South Africans have already left the country? That's 1 million plus. Oh, it's well over 1 million. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So when you hear idiots like Nota Boloyi talking about whites being dogs and they're less than humans and subhuman and, you have to beat them like dogs and train them. Remember that? Did you see that stuff? Good God. I have a video on that too, by the way. So the number of white South Africans who left South Africa since 1994, some of whom are no longer alive, it's been 31 years, and some have left a year ago or 10 years ago. But that number is easily well over 1 million. It's probably about 1.6 million. I don't know when it has real good statistics on it. Probably 1.6, at least, maybe a little bit more. So if you add another 1.5 million to the 4.8 million, the South Africa's white population would have grown by now. And we're not even talking about those who had their kids. Like Rob Herself had his kids, his 2 sons were born in the UK, not in South Africa. So if he never came back to South Africa, he would have been outside the country, and that's 2 white South Africans that would never have been in white South Africa's count. So if you add that 1.5 million plus, if they've reproduced, which many of them have, another, let's say conservatively 500,000, that's at least 2 million white South Africans living abroad right now, and that would make you 6.8 million. You'd have as many or more as are coloreds in the country, which is traditionally what the situation's been. Ride Restoration, thank you for becoming a member. So yeah, this has been going on a long time, but it's not just whites. Whites were the initial ones to leave in large numbers. And then, Hillbilly, thank you. And, gifted membership. I can't do all these gifted memberships, 10 of them. Thank you for that. So whites were among the first to leave, but then blacks and colors began to leave. It's human capital is what's left. It doesn't matter what people look like. It's human capital. Tins, hopefully that helps you. But no one has firm numbers on that. It's impossible to get that sort of thing. All right, so Flash Gordon, Flash, savior of the universe. The best thing to do in regards to this refugee program is to watch all Chris' videos and just chill. We will hear it first from Chris once the program. Yeah, unless I'm asleep. Then I'll be like, Chris, where you at? You didn't tell us. Stop surfing the web for answers. Unless you go to the government website and go there, you can find out how it's worked in the past, but that isn't going to answer your questions. It'll give you an idea, and then you'll be disappointed. Oh my gosh, those poor people in Kenya from Somalia, they've been there for 12 years and they still have refugee status. Oh, I'll never get it. Well, that's not your situation, is it now? Very different situation. All right, Crooked says, are there any news on the refugee plans? Okay, that was 6 minutes ago. Did you just tune in? Didn't say anything on the other website, just asking in case I missed something. What other website? I don't have another website. What are you talking about, Crooked? Are there any snooking in American waters? No, but they're in Congress. Just listening always hears his ants. Hey, there's another OG. Ant's been around forever. Ronell's been around forever. Kilometers per hour, which really isn't what that stands for. That's what I like to say, is back and disappeared for a long time. Good to see you back. I think everyone needs to stop chatting so the Colonel can catch up. He lost his LGBTQ vibe tonight. Oh, stop it, Maddie. Stop it. I've got it. I just got to call it back up. You know, I never do that on air because people get all offended. Oh, but you turn on a Hollywood show and you see it all the time. I have friends who are gay and they do it. It doesn't offend them. They think it's funny. Camp is funny. Have you eaten gator before? Nope. Never had it. I've had kudu, though. Never had gator. Dollingers is here. There's an OG, but they come and go. Can we bring our chickens since there's a shortage of eggs? No, we don't want your bird flu. Sup, Gareth McCarthy? Vil coming. Where's Gareth Gillis? There's another OG. I haven't seen Gareth here, but somebody just welcomed him. Keith Alderson says, politically, South Africa, there are, in my estimate, about 100,000 EFF active supporters and 4 million passive Malema followers who will welcome Trump's encouragement. Huh. That's probably a fair estimate. The members not saying anything are roof sitters. No, they're not. Chaos will drive many to leave South Africa. I don't think many realize we are hanging on by a thread. Yeah, I think some of us do. What's your take on the Israeli-Egypt troop buildup and tensions? Not sure if this is just, it's a tempest in a teapot. I don't think anything's going to happen there. Egypt can't afford a war with Israel. Israel can't afford a war with Egypt. So, no, it's not going to happen. Oh, I don't think it's going to happen. Could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong in this case. Yeah, Harley, that doesn't work. So let me help you out with German. You can't say Ich bin ein Amerikaner. First off, Harley, you're a lady, aren't you? So you be an Amerikanerin if you're a lady. There's another super chat. Thanks for the little super chats coming in from Reno. I'll get to that shortly, Reno. So you would be an Amerikanerin if you were a female. We don't have one for transgender. It's Amerikaner or Amerikanerin in German. And you don't say ein because it's like JFK was in Berlin. Ich bin ein Berliner. And all the Germans are like, did he just call himself a jelly donut? You see, the Germans have this habit of naming confections and foods after places. So a Berliner, ein Berliner is a jelly-filled donut. Yes, you get it at a Konditorei. And a Nürnberger is not a person from Nuremberg, but one of those little tiny white sausages that look like pencils, little thin cigars, and they're quite tasty. I had them 2 nights ago. That's a Nürnberger. Yeah, so you can't say ich or ich bin ein Amerikaner. It would be simply, if you're a lady, ich bin Amerikanerin. If you're a man, it's ich bin Amerikaner. There you go. Does that help? Heidi Krieger, your thoughts on Germany and the elections? Oh, the SPD is going to get destroyed, I think. AfD will be the second largest or the largest party, but not a majority, not even remotely close to that. Probably in the 20s, high 20s, maybe. If they get if the AfD gets 30%, it will be earth-shattering, and they will be the largest party. Yeah, and then Meretz is from the CDU. He'll be the Chancellor, most likely, and if that's the case, he's very much wants to get rid of these criminal alien invaders that Angela Merkel let in the country. So yeah, I think we'll see what happens, but it's going to be earth-shaking either way. Rita says, yeah, always watching, best and trustworthy. Thank you very much. Needs funding partners, while other countries you think will withdraw or minimize funding. Well, Erica, what do you mean by funding? The U.S. is by far the largest bilateral foreign aid donor. No one comes, all the other countries come together. I don't think even match the U.S., maybe even half of what we do. The Germans don't, the French don't, the Brits don't. DFID is the British one, and then the Germans, GZ, it used to be, they keep changing the name. April, May, that's right. I'm trying to, okay, you missed one of my super chats. Sorry, Mickey. I'll go back and look. Darty says you rock. Thank you. Things I want to ask have been asked already. Okay, all right, cool. You'll do the roof guy. Right, looking over the roof. Show me the money, says Flash Gordon. We are looking at the offer, okay? Okay, here, let me do that. We'll do a poll. We got 700 people here now, although some people are starting to disappear. Start a poll. Are you regarding the REFUG offer? Are you, and I'll give some options here. Okay. Come on. Okay, okay. Okay. Got one more here. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right, new poll. 3 options. All right, the poll is up. Regarding the refugee offer, will you take it? America, here I come. No, thank you. Or we'll wait to see if it works. That should say works. Sorry, the typo. Works for me. So you guys can figure that out. Looking at the offer. PH says, hope this one's better. 140 Rand. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for that. That represents a big chunk of all the super chats came in. Corny Marie, thank you. Much appreciated to see all the info. Waiting in suspense. Yeah, we're all waiting in suspense. Oh, you're in KwaZulu-Natal. Yaku Basson, send the C-17. Well, that's a possibility. If you talk money, you're not going to sleep. People will keep you very busy. I'm making a video on it, Stephanie, so nobody can watch it. Then they come to my lives and ask me the same questions I've already answered. Laura Sillison, is it Sillison or Silson? Silson, welcome you. Carl Brown, I am 297. I can claim Social Security. What? You're 297 years old? Wow, you can claim it. I don't think you can get it, though. Melinda Perkins, good evening. Thank you for your channel. All your videos are about facts. We appreciate it. Oh, thank you very much. Geez, got him to turn down the volume on this. Huh? What volume? Oh, definitely going, no doubt, says Pretender. Thank you. Got it. Take care, Steve. Okay. White started leaving South Africa from mid-70s. That's true. U.S. and Canada ice hockey game is going to be good. Yeah, hopefully the U.S. can win that game. They lost the game to Sweden, but they had a lot of injuries. A lot of players were out. Sedgefield's in for the garden route. Wen Mare says, pissed off vampires. Channel is the only one that tells us the honest truth. Well, thank you, Barbie. I hope that others do, but thank you so much for that kind endorsement. Refugees become America's greatest assets. We'll see, Mickey. We'll see. That brilliant SA education system made you mix your numbers, Carl Brown. Okay. Bunch of memberships handed out there. Who gave the memberships out? Let me see. That was by Get Triggered. It says 10 memberships. Thank you for that, Get Triggered. And all the people became members under that. There's a number of membership. Reno Steenkamp. Thank you for that. Chris Beanie, I think you are AI because you're always on. That's how I've always been my entire life, folks. Always on. Kim Walker's stats say Australian population is 1% South African. Yeah, that's not hard to believe. Australia's current population has really soared. I think it's around 30 million now, maybe a bit more than that. I have to take a look. That would mean 300,000. That's not beyond the realm of possibility. Thank you for always being a straight shooter. You're welcome, Magda. Okay, Anton Feldsman, we will be sad to leave Garsfontein in Pretoria East, but we'll be blessed to be welcome USA. You're going to miss Garsfontein? I mean, I get missing Clarence or, Rustenburg or Linwood. Garsfontein? No, I'm just teasing. Will we still get a 350 Rand a month? No, you won't. You won't. They're going to cut that off. Buzzy, thanks someone for the gift of membership. There you go. Michael Neustadt's back, just home from work. Okay, thanks to all who helped put the info in the stream together. That would be me. I put all the info together. You're welcome. You have to keep that pimp hand strong to deal with the U.S. refugees. Chances of that are pretty slim. Getting sleep. Okay. Never sleeps. He's on duty. Yeah. I hope people stay subscribed regardless of current refugees hype. Yeah, me too. Great content. Taking forever to catch up. Yeah, I want to go back to doing content on the U.S. as well and other stuff. But, was it David Rosenblatt, I think it was, or somebody like that, what came on an earlier thing and said, how come 85% of the coverage about South Africa is negative? Oh, well, it's just, there's another super chat, and that one's from Tiger Valley. I'll get to that shortly. It's because that's what's going on right now. But I have tons of positive coverage. I try to do positive coverage. But again, I do it and I get penalized for it. You have to understand, folks, and this has nothing to do with, I don't pick and choose topics because I'm looking to ride an algorithm wave. I don't pick and choose topics to try to get attention on the internet. I pick topics of interest, and I try to tell a good side of events, particularly in South Africa, and I tried to do the same thing in the States when we were going through COVID, because there aren't many good news stories. But I will tell you this. If I went right now and did a video and talked about, let's something positive here. If I interviewed Francois van Kolk again, which I've done in the past, I interviewed him in Belleville, in Boston, actually, And if I went and did that and posted on here, that'd be interesting to some people, but it won't be like, Franz Cronier talking about politics. So that's a positive story. He'll talk to us about his time with Folkhof Politique and, his singing with Karen Zoid. And we'll talk about his music and, and how his dad said, stop using our name. And that's why he chose Funkok. And that'll get some views, but it will not be anywhere like this. I mean, I took this risk the other day putting videos on here because I'm not going to just do this just, for clicks. So let me find this one that got no views on it. I don't want lives. I want videos. Let me go over here to videos. So there we go. Africa neglects HIV/AIDS, blames President Trump. That's not positive, but that had nothing to do with South Africa. And so I got 5,800 views as opposed to 89,000 for Trump rebuffing South Africa. It's 12 times as much. More than 12 times. It's 15 times many views. Here went, Washington needs to issue policy guidance for South Africa, which is what you guys want, policy guidance. That's nothing negative about South Africa. That was a positive, and that's 16,000 views. So anyway, no, it's so YouTube doesn't reward you for good news. It doesn't, unless you're just simply a good news channel. Chantel Pretorius, my super chat was missed. Okay, well, I'll go back, Chantel. Hope people stay subscribed regardless. I hope they do too. All right, so I'm missing super chats, and that's offending people, so I'm going to have to go back and fix that. Won't be missing VitBunk. Make a positive video about Garth Fontaine. It's going to take some time. A little research on that one. I did video on the Cradle of Humankind and 300 views on it. Yikes, 300 views on it. All right, they're telling me now to put an advert in, and I'm not going to do that for the 700 people here. Actually, let's do it. Let's do a probe because I'm gonna go back to super chat. So let's do a probe. I want to put an ad in right now. All right, and come back after it's over if you got it and say, hey, I got the ad. You can skip through it. You don't have to watch it. Boom. I just put an ad in, okay? We'll see how many people got it. It's been running about 25% get it. Some ELSA membership. Thank you for that. What about small business owners applying? Will we be able to open a business there? Of course you'll be able to have a business or set in our trade. I don't know what you mean set. What is set in our trade? Stuck in your career field? Is that what you mean? Anybody can start a business here. Just have to comply with local state laws. Can I send you a Neil DeBeer email, or do you have it already? What email from Neil DeBeer? What did Neil DeBeer send out? Neil was coming over here, and I haven't heard from Neil. Is he ghosting me, or is he just that busy? Let me see. I haven't talked to Neil in several days. Sent a message asking if he's okay. Last time I heard from him was on the 14th. It's 6 days ago. That's unusual. Neil, I usually hear from more often. Yeah, so I just sent a message. Got 2 ads. Okay, there you go. Media make it sound as so hard to be accepted. See, that's the problem. Ricky Berg, that's the problem. They don't know they're lying, and they're doing that to discourage you. And that's why they're going around saying nobody's interested in this, and they're lying. Karen Zoid once almost ran me over when she skipped the stop street. Her whole car was branded in her name. Wow. Joachim Venter, don't complain about ads. How must Uncle Chris earn money for free content advice? Yeah. Thanks, Erica, for your work behind the scenes. As a newbie, I'm not sure who the greater team is behind. Well, Hendo and Erica are there. Ronell has stepped up. Arctic has been very active lately. But Hendo and Erica, I think, I could be wrong if I'm missing somebody. They're the two that have been moderators the longest here on the channel. So, and Erica does this at a disadvantage because she's had a couple strokes. Makes it very challenging for her. Let me get to the super chats, okay? That's what I want to do. Because I missed the super chats, and you guys took the time to cough up some money there, and that's very inconsiderate. So thank you. By the way, we are over 600 members on this channel now. That's crazy. 622. It's shocking. We're going to have to do a members party event or something like that sometime soon. Maybe on Sunday. Super chats. Here we go, okay? Super chats. See y'all. Okay, let me run through all of them now. So some of you can get 2 for your money. Good Lord, are all these on? Well, there's no way. Okay, so Mickey said, sorry I missed your guest, or I saw that one. Then Mickey gave is it a duck or a Tweety bird? A super sticker. Then Waldo, I got that one. Just want to let you know that you changed my life. I got that one, 70 Rand. Mickey did another one for 14 Rand. It says, U.S. military maximum age 39, 40. No, that's not true. It's not true. The Army's 34. Every service has a different age. Most of them are 32 to 34. I don't know where you get 39 from. That one I'm not familiar with. Tattoos can disqualify you if you've got a Nazi tattoo, if you've got a Tren de Agua tattoo. They can disqualify you, but I don't think yours will probably disqualify you. But you got to be Depends on the service. So you'd have to look it up online. Istafark gave a super sticker, 14 Rand. Then Chantel said, Villain Petzer made a video in English about the new bill. Oh, okay. I'll have to watch that video too and see what he's got to say. Thank you for that, Chantel. Appreciate that. Istafak doing another dance, another 35 Rand. Thank you. That makes 49. And then Adele Visser says, we'll bring you a present. Well, thank you, Adele. Appreciate this. Very kind of you. Istafak says, wait for it. 13 Rand or 14 Rand. PH, thanks for your time and consideration for us. 35 Rand. Mickey did another 14 Rand. The members not saying anything are roof lickers. Okay. Roof kaika. And PH says, hope this one's better. 140 Rand. That is a bigger one. Reno Steenkamp, I missed that one completely. No, I did. It was about small business. Hopefully I've answered your question. And then you gave another one for 14. Dennis LaRue gave a 35 Rand super sticker. Is the fox sleeping? And Tiger Valley 62 says, my mom is an EU immigrant to South Africa, but my dad is an Afrikaner. Do you think we'll be able to qualify as refugees, or would my mom have to stay? Yeah, okay. You're asking for an opinion. I'm not an immigration guy, but all things being equal, you'll be able to apply. Your dad will be able to apply. Your mom should be able to apply as well, based on the fact she's married to someone who's discriminated against, and they don't really go for family separation if they can avoid it. So, yeah, you should all be able to do it. Yeah, but, I mean, again, we have to wait for the rules. But that normally would be how it works. And Insight for ZA gave a super sticker of PLN. That's not Polish Lottie. What is PLN? I don't know what that is. Is that supposed to be Polish Lottie? 10? Thank you for that. And then Henny Stender just said, thanks for the good work and time and effort. Thank you for the super chat. Very kind of you. And Quids45 gave us 7 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Everybody's jumping in and doing the super chats. Thank you for that. But again, if you don't have the resources, please don't do a super chat. We don't want to put someone in a bind. Someone told me that they wrote me a message and said, hey, Chris, a long-time viewer, but I don't really chat. I was a paying member, but times are tight, and I had to stop. But I want to start soon. I said, no, look, thanks. I appreciate your viewing. Thank you for being a subscriber. Don't pay for membership. Take care of your needs first. Take care of your family. That's your first priority. And A-Ton Warthog. Neil is busy. He put out a broadcast this morning, really good. He's going to travel USA next week or so. Well, if it's next week, okay, yeah. No ad. Cool. Jurgens, thank you for that. Will the U.S. offer refugee status also apply to Namibian Afrikaners? No, it does not apply. It does not apply. But that doesn't stop you from applying for it. Maybe they make a mistake and you slide through. No, it's only for South Africa. Sorry, Linus N. If we let AD play in full, does Chris better monetization? Yeah, if you let the ads play in full, I get better monetization. That's for sure. Yeah, but I mean, most people skip over the ads, and even so, it's generating a fair amount of revenue. I'm not going to get wealthy doing this, but the money that is coming this month, even after taxes, will be enough to cover my internet and could cover part of my trip upcoming. So that's kind of nice. Thank you for that. I think I'll be making built. And by the way, over 2/3 of the revenue now is ad revenue. And normally I make very little money on the channel, and only about 5% is ad revenue. So that's a huge jump. And that's because people are watching the videos. Yep. 2 ads. Okay. And then Gideon Schaumburg. Oh, I was, your little smart assery at the end of the last broadcast. I told myself I was going to give you a timeout. I guess I'm in a better mood than I was when you were being a smart ass earlier. Temu ads. Yeah, no surprise there. All right, cool beans. I think I've caught up now. Karen Zoid. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry she almost ran you over. You sure it was her? Not somebody just driving a vehicle and had her name on it. Old King Red is back. I just see that the stupid Temu ad shop like a billionaire. Remember, you're broke. See what they did to Jaws? Huh? No, what's that? Can a 20-year-old apply for FG status? No, you can apply as Rouvet. You can apply as a 20-year-old. Absolutely. You're an adult. 18, you're an adult. If you're under 18, a parent can apply. There are situations where, because there's refugees that don't have parents, they've been murdered, where someone under can apply for it. So I don't know the conditions of that, but that is the case. So, yep, keep that in mind. All right, so you'll be fine. I'm not a roof kiker. I give out cooking. Stormers get yeah, the Stormers are getting refugee status. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, my Stormers will go to the front of the queue. Ladies and gentlemen, the first refugee arrival in the United States will be Mani Lubbock. Oh, no. No. Oh, wow. Do we have URC this weekend? I've got, that's a day or so away. I've not even up on that. Let me take a look and see. United, UNIT. United Rugby. Okay, let's go there and take a look real quick and see if the schedule's on this week or if we got a break here. Hey, Skulk Burger. Buck legends think back to their rugby origins. And that's the top story on the United Rugby Championship, even though he never played in the URC. Pretty interesting. All right, round 12. Okay. Is the 20th. Yeah, they're not playing this weekend. So are we back to the Six Nations this weekend? Oh, my goodness. See, it's like a ping pong ball. Six Nations. Let's check the schedule. Yep, we're back to the Six Nations. So Wales and Ireland. Wales is going to get slaughtered in Millennium Stadium. England, Scotland. Oof, I don't know what to say there. England impressed in their last win over France. Scotland disappointed in their loss to Ireland. Italy and France. France will slaughter them. So, yep. So that's this weekend, the Six Nations. All right. Major League Rugby is also going on. I haven't looked at that. I haven't really followed it this season. Any insight in the proposed postponed budget speech? Well, only what the public knows, Fouché, and that's that it'll be on the 12th of March, and they've got between now and then to sort out what's going to happen. Gideon said, I had to laugh at your clip earlier. It looks like those slideshows they show at funerals. Yeah, I know, and you just kept pouring it on and going on and on and on. Does the U.S. have a minimum wage? Yes, $7.50 per hour, but some states have higher minimum wage. What is it if they're, okay, what's the average income expectation? Well, average income expectation? I expect to make $500,000 a year, but I don't make that. Are you asking what the per capita income? Per capita income in the United States is somewhere around $69,000 per person. $69,000. Yeah. So you do the math on that. That is, remember, per capita is an average. It's a median income. So half the people are below that, half the people above that. $69,000. Whoops, that's 690. 69 times 19. That would be a cool 1.3 million rand per year. Drags of drugs, what does that mean? Yeah, exactly. Istafar, my income expectation is all. It's mine. Give it all to me. I want all the money. Definitely watching England versus Scotland. Yeah, I'll be rooting for Scotland, so I'll be calling that one. When is that game? Let me take a look and see. That game is at Saturday, 11:45. So the news on Saturday will be early, or will it? I don't think I'm going to cover the Ireland-Wales game. I mean, I'll probably just cover one game this weekend and actually get some work done. So, yeah, if I cover the England-Scotland game, that'll be the one. So the news will come early before that. And there's another super chat from Daniel Smith. Will they reverse the offer refugee status? Asked and answered 1,000 times, Daniel, but you've done a super chat, so I'll address it. Once your refugee status is approved and you're in the United States, as long as you follow the guidelines, they cannot reverse it. However, if the proximate cause of the granting of the refugee status ends, in other words, if a communist regime is overthrown, it's safe to go back to a country, then you're expected to go back to the country unless you've applied for citizenship and been granted that. I will tell you that refugees never go home. This is why I don't want refugees in this country. They never go home. Nothing against refugees, but they don't go home. It's supposed to be temporary to protect you because you're being persecuted or you fear persecution. But nobody ever goes home. I've covered this story 100 times. The Liberians who came here in 1990 have not left 35 years later. And they've formed a huge lobby, and they sit here, and they are in America, and most of them have become Americans, and they whine and piss and moan and demand that we give money to help Liberia. That's their problem. They can fix Liberia by taking all their money and wealth they've accrued here and go back to Liberia and fix it. But no, they go to Congress and demand money and lobby for the U.S. government to get involved in the affairs of Liberia, and we want nothing to do with Liberia. We essentially rebuilt the damn country. Anyway, after they broke it and came here. So they never leave. And that was granted under special status. That special status ran for a period of time, and they were supposed to leave at the end of that period. They didn't leave. Got extended. Didn't leave. Got extended. Didn't leave. Like 6 times it's been extended, and they're still here. So once you get here, you're not going anywhere. Now, if you lied to get here, say you're a convicted rapist, and you don't tell anybody about that, and they don't discover it during the background check, which is unlikely. They'll probably find that out. You get here, and years later they find out you're a convicted rapist. Guess what? You're gone. And if you got American citizenship, it will be revoked. John Demjanjuk was a Ukrainian who was at Treblinka, or one of those Nazi death camps, the concentration camps in the Second World War, or so they claim. He said he wasn't. And he lied about something on his immigration paperwork when he came to America. 14 Rand says, sorry, I meant, will Trump reverse this? Oh, okay. Oh, Daniel, okay, cool. Well, no, the way you wrote the question is also a question, so I'll answer both. Thank you for the super chat. Demyanyuk lied on his immigration form, and 40 years later, they stripped him of his citizenship. He was stateless. So he had to go back. He went to Germany. They tried him. I went to Israel. Anyway, so it's just Demyanyuk. So if you defraud America, your citizenship is null and void. If you commit crimes while a refugee, you could have that revoked, or you wind up in prison. Take your pick. I don't think you get a choice, though. So as far as will Trump reverse the offer, I don't know that. He can. He stopped the whole program in January the moment he came in office. Nobody can come here right now. Until they get the South Africa thing started, no one's coming here right now as a refugee, which is unusual. We always have refugees pouring in this country. So he can reverse it, but it seems highly unlikely. I mean, there's nothing for him to gain by it. But, I mean, if he reverses it before he even lets somebody in, that's just not going to look very good for him. Thank you for the membership, Marco Brits, Marco Brits, my apologies. So I think I answered that. Okay. Wife is a caregiver. Will she get a job there? Well, she'll have to get certified, most likely in whatever state she's in, to meet the qualifications for caregiver. Yeah, we definitely need caregivers. Got an aging population, and caregivers always work. The UK is another place. That's UK, Japan, and US got a lot of old people. Although as a percentage, we have much lower percentage, but we just have a large population. Can I take my 2 small dogs as carry-ons? Well, Ronaldo's wife is taking Carter, Kennedy, and Ronaldo as carry-ons. No. They say we must pay 17 VAT. Well, that's what they're trying to do. Maeve from Durban, love your news, new listener. Thank you, Maeve. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for subscribing. My income space station is everything. Okay, I already got there. Okay. Bob Davey is trying to contact you. Check the chat. Says he's your family. Bob Davey? Don't anybody named Bob Davey? I don't know anybody named Bob Davey. People are sending me all kinds of messages right now. I don't see a message from anybody named Bob Davey in my chat. And I don't know anybody named Bob Davey. So that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Charmaine. Bob Davey, never heard of him. Perhaps you could have 3 or 4 adverts back to back in 1 hour so we can all go. I don't control it, Keith. Christian Hugo, I saw your video on background checks. I tried to hand over some sensitive information to the FBI a while back when I discovered some troubling information. Would that show up? Well, if you try to give data to the FBI, there may well be, because they'll do a records check on the FBI, there may well be something in there, but I mean, that doesn't sound derogatory. It's just about derogatory information. And oftentimes derogatory information on people isn't valid, folks. And in the background video, I said this. As an intelligence professional and someone investigates people for background investigations in the past, we come across information where false allegations are made or where people try to damage you politically or oppress you, and they put information in databases, things that aren't true. It's up to the adjudicators who determine your status whether that's legitimate. Hilton Fleming, welcome to you. I wouldn't worry about it, Christian, unless you did something wrong. If you did something wrong, then, So let me just, without you all going and watching the video, let me read that portion, just a small portion of that. So when it comes to background checks, okay, I'm too far. I got to go back up here. There we go. So they check law enforcement, intelligence community, and other relevant databases, which could be a whole lot of things. It could be UNHCR, or it could be Interpol. It just depends on the situation. And they're looking for derogatory information and any information that could inform lines of questioning. So in other words, if you were involved in something dodgy but never convicted of it, they may make a determination that you can't come. We don't want dodgy criminals in this country. So all that plays a role. But I wouldn't lose sleep over it. If you're a good person, you haven't done anything wrong, if you've been falsely accused of something and there was nothing to it, then it'll probably work itself out. $7 is 133. It's $7.50, Stephen. 133 Rand per hour. Yep. Flesh in, all in for Wales. Jody DeBrun, what's the average minimum wage working hours and days? I just answered that question, and then Stephen just gave a wrong answer. I said $7.50, but he put $7. $7.50 nationally. Some states have higher minimum wage. Working hours, 40 hours is a normal work week. Days, 5 days a week. I mean, this isn't Greece and France where we expect to work 30 hours and get paid for 40. How much would you say you need to support two people? Well, I can't answer that question, Veritas, because it depends on how you live. Depends on whether you're frugal or not. Depends on whether you're a smart shopper or not. Also, it's very difficult to assess because basically all basic staple prices have doubled in the last 4 years under the corrupt, crooked regime of nappy-wearing Joe Biden. And so even I, as a colonel, I'm pinching my pennies, watching what I spend. And this month I looked at, I hadn't gone and bought anything. I'm like, credit card is like zero. I'm like, thank God, it's about damn time I have no credit card bills. Still had to pay my mortgage, my electricity, my natural gas, my internet, my telephone, petrol for the car. Yeah, so I had food, had to pay all that stuff. It's impossible to say. Depends where you live. Depends what you do. I can't answer that question because I could give you an answer and tell you what I need to survive. And that could be highly inappropriate. If you live in Manhattan, they're not going to put you in Manhattan. But if you live in Manhattan, you need a lot more money than you need here. Arno says something about drag racing. Okay. Jaco Peters says, I wanted all the money. Just got here a bit late. It's storming over in the Northern Cape. Hey, Nico. Our minimum wage is $16.66 an hour. That's Washington State. How is it determined to which state a refugee is placed? Well, because of what's available, Kenny. You can't put 10,000 people in a place designed for 10. So the State Department, in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security, the Homeland Security makes the determination where you're sent. You can indicate where you want to go. It doesn't mean you're going to go there. If you already have family in the country, that'll probably affect it. They'll probably try to push you that way. But there's no guarantees. So anyway, apparently I'll make $250,000 a year. $250,000 a year, Gray? I've never made that kind of money. It's a lot more than I've ever made in my life. Yeah, $250,000 a year. You can pretty much live anywhere except Hollywood, San Francisco, or Manhattan. But $250,000, you can live pretty well. Yep. That's a lot of money. Bear in mind, you won't see $250,000. See, this is why I put the mic on silent. You hear that sound? Not because of farts. So $250,000, you're not going to see that. First off, you're going to be in the 20 or 31% tax bracket, so 1/3 of that disappears in federal taxes. All right, so that would mean 31, 62, and 15, $77,000 is gone. So now you have, just from that, you have $173,000, but you're not done. On top of that, you lose another 6.5% from Social Security, and you lose another 5% or something, 4% for Medicaid, Medicare. So you take off another 11%. That takes you down, and 11% is off the $250, not off of what's left. So 11% of $250 is another $22,000. $29,000. So take the 29 off the 173, takes you down to 144, and now you're down $144,000. And if you live in a state that has state income tax, which most do, you're probably going to pay another 3% of that. So 3% of 250 is another 3.6, 7.5. That takes you down to about $130,000. From that $130,000, if you live in a major metropolitan area like New York, you're going to pay city income tax. Most people don't pay that, but people in big places do. That's usually 1%. Anyway, you went from $250,000 as your listed salary. You're down now to around $120,000. So you're getting less than half your income after paying all these taxes. And now you have to live off that. Well, that's not a lot of money. Sounds like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. Bulls versus Lions Saturday. Oh, is that on? Oh, okay. I didn't see that, Devin. Is that a makeup game? All right. That's okay. Let me. Okay. You know what? Instead of going to the URC, because the URC site's annoying because they break it down by rounds, and when games aren't played in that round, they play a different date. They don't tell you that. So let's see. URC schedule. URC rugby scores. Let me go there. Okay. Okay. So here we go. See, this is the only game left from week 9. We're not on week 9. We're like on week 12 already. So the Bulls and Lions. Thank you for that. 7 o'clock on Saturday. Okay, I'll cover the Bulls and Lions. Okay, I got that. And I'll do the Scotland game later on. So I'll sandwich the news in between those. Thank you for the heads up on that. I would have missed that. All right. I should have caught it because I'm accredited with the Bulls and I get the email message, and I didn't even look at it this week. Okay. So they determine where you go, but you can ask. How much is that doggy in the airplane? F1 versus Indy. I don't care for either. Sonora Funda Fifa. Hello, dearest Colonel. I'm so sorry I'm late. I just heard there is a consulate in Cape Town. You're a breath of fresh air. And is it okay? I am Afrikaans. My daughter is raised English first language. Well, it doesn't matter what she's raised as. She's an Afrikaner. So, I mean, I'm sorry she was raised with English as her first language if you're an Afrikaner. I mean, English is my first language. Yeah, there's a consulate in Cape Town. It's lovely, by the way. I've worked out of it. I've never worked out of the one in Joburg. I've driven by it. Never worked out of the one in Durban. Don't even know where that one's at, to be honest. And I know the one in Hatfield. I've worked out of there. So, Tanya de Jong, only thing I'll miss about South are the jokes and how quickly we can generate a funny meme. When I arrive in America with my refugee lotto ticket, I want a red carpet. Okay. I'll make sure you get that, Gideon. I don't know. I know you don't want too many refugee questions, but no, you guys can ask them now. We're in that mode now. It's nothing else is going on. But could a refugee get a university scholarship and study full time? Well, getting a scholarship is going to be a challenge because how are you going to be eligible for a scholarship unless it's a need-based one? If it's academic, your academic scores are going to be tough. I don't know how they evaluate that, so I can't answer that question. On a need basis, yeah, it's possible. I got a scholarship, but it was from the Veterans of Foreign Wars, or American Legion. I'm trying to remember these Veterans of Foreign Wars. It's a $500 scholarship. One time they interviewed ROTC cadets, the military training, and I got the scholarship because I was the one that impressed them most. It's the only scholarship I ever got. But you get grants to go to school based on income. So yeah, and if you come here and you're a refugee and you're dirt poor and your family's not making much money, you're going to qualify for all kinds of stuff. So yeah, you can go to university here. You don't want us there, says him. No, I don't tell you what. I did the video one. I said, look, I'm not asking you to come here. I don't want you in my house. Yeah. I meant the Trump versus offer. Yeah, so I think I answered your question there, Daniel. I don't think you will. Hey, there's Arctic. Well, he must be busy flying somewhere. You always say every state is different. Is there maybe a website that gives you info on each state? Maybe, Antoinette. I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't think there's a website that gives you information for all these thousands of questions people are asking because nobody asks these questions for every state. There's probably a website that tells you if you look up, you know, driver's license qualifications for a state. You probably got one website that tells you all that. If you look one that says, you know, tax rate for every state. Again, you're asking hypothetical. You're not asking hypothetical, but it's based on a hypothetical question. Where am I going to go? You don't know where you're going to go. So, you know, learning what the minimum wage is in Arkansas isn't going to help you if you wind up in Oregon. So, I mean, if you want to go learn about all 50 states, you'll become an expert on it. Great. But, I mean, I'm not dissuading. I'm just saying that it doesn't really serve any purpose until we know what's going on. I've been needing a caregiver. It's my strokes. You always say every state is different. Yep, it is. It's because we're a union of sovereign states. Have you watched any of the ARC conference videos? No, I haven't, Jacobus. I know that Rob Hersoff had told me as he was headed there, he said, I really need to go to this conference. He said, I should be there. And I don't move in the same circles as Rob. I don't know Jordan Peterson. I wasn't invited. Didn't even know about the conference. So I don't really have an opinion on it other than what Rob said, which sounded very positive. Rob said some very nice things about it, so I'll research it and maybe I'll go next year. Highly unlikely after the notice is issued. What's that? Oh yeah, exactly. He's put the executive order out there. It's he's not going to get egg in his own face. Get in order to get your pay. What? Henny Stunder says, I'm very concerned and sad about our country. We should turn back to God. Well, I don't think you'll find many people disagree with you, Henny. I got 3 emotional abuse cases against me made by my ex, never found guilty. Well, if you're not found guilty, then there's no derogatory information. And adjudicators know that partners and spouses oftentimes make false allegations for a number of reasons. So, you know, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. All right, where are we at there? Where are we at there? Oh, man, it jumped on me. Your clock is stuck. 12:51? No, it's not stuck. What are you talking about? It doesn't say 12:45. It says 12:51. 77,000. What's that? What's 77,000 virtual Western Cape? Most refugees will be sent to Potato State of Burning Hill State. The NGOs assist. Yes, there are EPK, and that's part of what I'll be making one of my videos. Next ones, I'll be making a video about that and talk about. There's also hosts that sponsor you that come here, so that's part of it too. Small to medium prizes enterprise are closing because of BE. If we sell everything, will we be taxed on assets being brought in the States as well? I don't know the answer on that one. There are currency importation limitations. Not sure how that works. I doubt you'll be taxed on your money coming in. I could be wrong. I'm not gonna try to profess, but I mean, we do allow high net worth individuals to come here and get visas, and they're not going to tax them to bring it here. They just want them to invest in the economy. So I don't know the answer on that one. You got to bear in mind that most people coming refugees are fleeing war zones. Starting salary for my job is $60,000, $80,000 US, says Collie. Okay. Lose my pension, medical, but I can't live here alone. Family should stick together. My daughter will be happy. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Landy. Top cold weather in your state in your eyes? Alaska. Minnesota's pretty cold too. Okay. Sharazone. I saw somewhere that Elon mentioned he paid $12 billion last year. No, that was the year before. He paid $12 billion in income tax. Yeah, because he sold all that Tesla stock and he had to pay $12 billion. He paid more in 1 year in income tax than any American has in their entire life, including Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. They've never paid that much money for it. No one has ever paid $12 billion in income tax. It's like he paid like 10 times as much as anyone's ever paid in 1 year max. And then Elizabeth Warren goes on after he pays the $12 billion and calls him a greedy billionaire. He's greedy. He's too cheap to pay taxes. I mean, she's living in another world. Start saving for flight tickets and basics to have some money in hand. Well, Erica, normally, if you watch my video, again, which I haven't made this one yet, but I did mention in the first video, if you come here commercial during the refugee program, the U.S. will pay for your flight, but you have to pay it back. Normally, at the 6-month point, you start paying it back, an interest-free loan for whatever your flight costs to get over here. So if you come with a family of 4, say 2 adults and 2 kids, that could set you back from South Africa about $8,000 US. Yeah. So $8,000 is going to be, that's quite a bit. It's just an estimate. You can't stick me to that because I paid $3,000 for one ticket last time. I just an average times 19. That's 152,000 rand. You'll be in the hole, and you have to pay the 152,000 rand back to the U.S. government, interest free, and it starts at 6 months. However, you can get that deferred if you're not making money or if you haven't found a suitable job or something like that, or you've got some unforeseen expense you had to do. But yeah, you have to pay it back. So you can save and pay for your own to get here, or you can, take advantage of the U.S.'s interest-free loan. Arkansas minimum wage is $11. There you go. See, that's higher. Okay, I can't wait to become a super extreme couponer. Only 40 hours of work week. Afrikaners will be so bored. Barbie, you ask what the standard is. That's not how Americans work. Americans work more than any other people on the planet. We work ourselves to death. 40 hours is a standard work week. Beyond that, it's overtime, time and a half, weekends and holidays, double time or triple time. If you're on hourly wages, people who work salaries tend to work a lot of hours. So only 40 hours, that's deceptive. That's the standard. Everybody's excited about America. What if we took that passion and stood together and fought for ourselves? Well, Henny, what are you going to do? I agree. What are you going to do? Are you going to march with tar and feathers on the Union Building? Parliament's not there. They're in Cape Town. You're going to march on the City Hall because that's where they hang out now because they burned down the building and they're too incompetent to rebuild it, repair it. So it's been, 3 years now? Going on 4 years since the guy torched the place. Yeah, so, I'm with you, but how are you going to do it? I encourage you to stand and fight for your country. Absolutely. Okay, I would never suggest anyone work under the table, but there's always work. Stop it, Light Rain. None of that nonsense. Lancaster County, PA has a big Amish community. Curious, would it be difficult to become a member of their community? Probably, but it's not impossible. Interesting development here in Pennsylvania is that, of course, with the scourge of single parents, families, and lots of people who are drug dependent, there are a large number of black children who are available for adoption. The Amish are very warm people, and they're not black. However, you'll find a number of black Amish now. Because what has happened is the Amish, because no one else would adopt these kids, have adopted a number of these kids, particularly from Philadelphia, and taken them in their communities and raised them in Amish families. And they become Amish. And now some of them become age old enough to reproduce, and they're having kids with other Amish. And so now you got some mixed race Amish. Never existed before. But becoming a member of the Amish, not so easy to do, but not impossible. Will a DUI that is 15 years old cause refugee status be declined? Jody, I can't answer that question other than I suspect it wouldn't be an issue. It's not a violent crime, and that's usually the issue here. So I wouldn't lose any sleep over that. Don't have kids. Trust me, they also fight the Terminators. What's with Strandlopers? Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You interviewed Jake White. No, I didn't interview Jake White. Oh, yeah, I did interview Jake White, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I didn't do it one-on-one. I did it at a press conference. I forgot about that. Yeah, I've interviewed Jake White. Have brother in the USA, but will go any place where there's work. Okay. 7 dogs and 5 cats. Well, you ain't bringing them here. Live on a little farm with no phone reception, only 3 kilometers out of a little town. Owner farm does not even want to live on farm. Therefore, oh, that's why you have the dogs. Gotcha, Lorette. Wow, that's pretty isolated. Almost got a plumbing job in Michigan State Penitentiary, but I declined. Working with inmates probably not a good idea. Well, Stephen, it depends what you want to do. It's not my ideal. It's not something I'd want to do, but yeah. Okay, Jody, but no, what is this? But no. There's yeah, it could come in a background check by your employer here. So if you want to go work for UPS and you have a DUI, you might not get a job with UPS. Magda says, sorry, have to go. You're welcome, Magda. Thanks for being here. Small business owner working 40 hours a week would be sweet. No small business owner works 40 hours a week. You're delusional. You're delusional. Talking about people who work for a salary or for hourly wages. There are ways to avoid all this if you look around, not for physical assets. You can actually, yes, there are ways to move your assets around the globe. And with the advent of cryptocurrency, it makes it easier. I'm not advocating anybody do anything with cryptocurrency. I'm not a person who is into cryptocurrency. I'm just saying there's ways to do things. Bulls fans and ANC voters have something in common. Both know their team are going to lose. Well, the Bulls are looking pretty good right now. The government want to increase VAT because they're trying to make up for their lost money. Well, for the theft. That's why. We'll make biltong. Well, you'll be in a long line of South Africans that are already here making biltong. You can buy biltong in the USA. Gideon says, I hear only refugees can do double standing front flip will be around allowed in. No, you won't. Meat is expensive in the U.S. Yep. Well, it didn't used to be, Arctic. You came on the wave of inflation, man. It used to be cheap. You used to get a pound of ground beef for 99 cents. Just a few years ago, you used to get a pound of ground beef for $2 or $3, and now it's outrageous. I'm a Scottish South African. Would your President Trump allow me in? Well, Joy, most likely, if you can prove that you're a racially discriminated against. The initial executive order said Afrikaner, but the embassy subsequently put out something I said was probably going to happen. They're going to redefine as ethnic minorities, and that opens it up to all whites, all Indians, and all colors, potentially. Yep. Potentially. Okay. They learn about college football and university. Huh? Ilza Hugo, welcome to you. Marcel Koch, on refugee status, may we get a driver's license? Well, yeah, you do have to get a driver's license. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you want to drive. Now, you won't be able to drive your South Africa license. You can short term, but you can't do it. There's a 14 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. You can't do it long term. So the way it works is, and I've covered this many times, but we'll cover it again because people keep showing up and they're new to this. So, and I'll use my example. Okay, so I was in the Army, and the way that law works in America, the Soldier and Sailors Relief Act of 1941 protects members of the military, so they're not taxed in multiple states. They can only vote in their home state, or if they register locally. But I mean, basically, you're protected from a tax and legal perspective. So I had an Ohio driver's license because I came in the Army from Ohio. And that license was valid anywhere in America because reciprocity. When I went overseas and traveled, when I hire a car on a holiday or something like that, reciprocity. Now, I did have to get a driver's license issued to me by which foreign country? It wasn't Botswana. I used my U.S. license there. was it Uganda or Ethiopia? I think it might have been Ethiopia. It was Ethiopia. I think I had to have a driver's license issued by there. They wouldn't accept my American. Yeah, it's diplomat. I still had to get one. I didn't have to pay for it though because it was diplomatic. Anyway, and I didn't have to take a test. They just had to issue me a license. So when I retired from the Army, when I lived here, I had a Ohio license. But when you live in a state, you're required to be licensed in that state. You can't have a state license. You can visit, you can travel through, you can be on holiday, you can visit family, but you cannot live in a state for a period of time and not register your vehicle and not get your driver's license from there. Now, military exception, because I was still in the active military, even though I lived in Pennsylvania, technically I wasn't here legally. I was in Ohio. I'm not really there, but I'm here. So my legal status is Ohio, so I didn't have to do it. But if you lived in Ohio and you came here and you weren't in the military, you have to get a Pennsylvania license. So, or Maryland or New Jersey, wherever you're coming from. So what happened is that when I retired from the Army in October 2019, I had 60 days to get a driver's license, or if I got pulled over, I would be driving on a license that wasn't valid because I'm a resident. I could be cited and fined. So I went in the first month afterwards and got a new driver's license. I didn't have to take a test because I had an existing driver's license. It was in good stead. So I transferred it. And I set up the appointment online. I went into the place. It's like a little shopping center where they do it. State ran office. Lots of booths, lots of setups. I waited like 5 minutes before they called me up. Went up, talked to the lady, answered some questions, showed her my military ID card, my passport to show further proof it was me, and surrendered my Ohio license. And then she told me to go wait on the other side. They would call me up. They called me up. I sat down. They took my picture and told them I wanted, with the other lady, I said, register me to vote. Took care of it, all in one place. And it cost me $25. $25. So I saw someone online was saying it cost $19,000 to convert your license to South Africa. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. If you can't convert your license, then you just have to take a driver's test. Big deal. Take a driver's test. And thank you for Marco for the 35 rand. I'll get to that shortly. Henny says, ChatGPT and Grok are very useful for info. Well, I would dispute that. I've seen a lot of bad information come from the two of them, but they're helpful in a general sense. Okay, so Marcel, there's the answer on that. Now, if you want a CDL, commercial driver's license, that's a whole other thing. You got to take a test for that. In other words, you want to drive a truck. Gary Burgess, welcome to you. Chris Marie, there are companies that evaluate your marks and compare it to the U.S. Yes, that's true, but you have to pay for that. Thanks again. So good to listen to you. Thank you, Daniel. Kim Walker. Hey, Kim, is that a raccoon? Meat in USA can't be more pricey than Ireland. You're correct, Yaku. It can't be. Gideon wants to bring his firearms. Sure, Gideon, you can bring yours. Let me know what flight you're landing on because I want to go watch that. Okay. Thanks, Colonel. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Wade. What's the worst state to end up in? Well, it depends on your view. I love California, but I wouldn't want to live there under the leftist regime. And New York's a beautiful state, but I wouldn't want to live there under the leftist. And Illinois, no thank you. What should you get per month to make it in USA? Again, PH, I asked that question in this answer that question 3 times during this program, and you're here a lot. I'm pretty sure I've answered while you've been on before. It depends on where you're at and what size your family is and how extravagant you are. I know going to America, well, if they won't allow us. By the way, I wonder if I closed that. Maybe I closed it down. Let me see if I have it. I found this one article I wanted to read to you guys. And where's it at? It was about from Fortune magazine. Where the heck is it at? I think I might have closed it by mistake. That sucks. Yeah, it's not here. Yeah, I found this article in Fortune magazine, which is really fascinating. So anyway, one of the financial advisors said he can tell you who will always remain middle class and always remain in trouble. Ward Halstead. So that, thank you for subscribing. That article by the guy who's a financial guru said that all he has to do is look in people's garage or look in their out front of their house. If they have 2 cars, they're making payments on it, they'll always be middle class. They'll have no money. If they're paying $500, $600, $700 a month in car payments, they have 2 cars, relatively new cars, regardless of what they are, they never have any money. Yeah, I can do the same thing. I can drive through neighborhoods and go, that person has no money because they're debt slaves. That person has no money. They're living beyond their means. I have a 2015 Chrysler 200, which I bought. I got interest rate below 4%. It was 1.9 because my credit rating was so good. It was a $38,000 car, but because I went through a buying service and got all these discounts applied for various reasons, I paid $28,000. I financed it, and yep. And then I have a 2004 Toyota 4Runner, so I have 2 vehicles, and that was bought and paid for a long time ago. So I'm not paying for either vehicle. I've been paying on either car I haven't had a car payment in 5 years. So I'm much more responsible with my money than most people in middle class are. You Gautengers will have a longer trip to overland for Botswana. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Jessica, my 2 cents is that you should move down south. This cold in the north is horrible. Oh, stop it, Jessica. Don't scare them. Stop being a wuss. It's lovely up here. He just had me angry because it's cold today. It is cold today. Jessica's also in Pennsylvania, I should tell you. Isn't it weird when this Chris says it's cost $25 and that's a lot, but ours, when we talk about bread, it's 25 Rand. Hang on a second. What does that say? 25 Rand, and to us it's a lot, but compare the two and it's mind-boggling. Can always be a school janitor. Yeah, you can do that. It can take a long time to get documents from Home Affairs. Start getting documents before you. Yeah, well, you should always have documents. You should have passports and everything. Thanks, Chris. Bye-bye, Sue. Okay. AAA, American Automobile Association. Why, did somebody ask that question? Top states for resettlement per UNHCR. Well, that's UNHCR. That's the United Nations organization. What they're going to tell you is not top states for best states. These are the most frequent. And I showed you guys that. I can tell you that right here. I've got the data for it. Hang on a second. I didn't put it in one of my videos. Where's it at? Is it this one here? Yeah, here you go. So this is from 2022, which was the most recent available information in the 2024 report. So I'll show you this. So I made a screen capture of this to show people. So when it says top states, it's the states where they send the most to, okay? So here, this is 2022 refugee arrivals, okay, by state of initial resettlement. So this is where people went when they first came to America in 2022. California took the most, 8.5% at 2,178 arrivals. Texas was second. New York is third. Well, those are the 3 largest states, so it's not a surprise. You see how they dispersed. Kentucky took 5%. Washington State, where light rain is at, took 4%, almost 5%. North Carolina, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, 1,100. Arizona, 1,000. So those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 states right there all took over at least 1,000. So yeah, so that's when they say top states, that's what they're talking about, okay? And that'll be part of one of my other videos that I put up. Explain that to people. Okay, YouTube is not playing nice. Go over here and reopen this thing again. Stupid YouTube. Very frustrating. Okay, we're getting close to 47,500. Got a long way to go to get to 48,000 today. Okay, top states for some. Okay, one question. Your current qualification in South Africa, will we be assisted in turning them over to the U.S. standards by retraining while we work? Well, G-Man, you're asking me a question. You're not even telling me what kind of standards here. I mean, there's welding standards, there's carpenters, there's HVAC technicians, and every state is different. There is a process to help with that, and there's NGOs to help with that. If you're an immigrant, you have to pay for that. Arctic can tell you that. He had to get his pilot stuff converted over. So it's not an answer I can just really give you straight up. Debt is big business. They will never let you go. Who will never let who go? Okay, it just doesn't make sense that I can work and live in the USA on a work visa but can't claim refugee or asylum status when the time comes. Well, that's because you don't understand law, Mornay. You don't understand law. It makes all the sense in the world. Why, do you understand what a refugee is, Mornay? You have to understand what a refugee is. Obviously, you don't understand what a refugee is. A refugee is someone who is fleeing persecution or who fears persecution. How can you be persecuted in America and claim refugee status? You can't. Sloat Steenkamp, hey. Yep. Really, you're back? I thought you've been here forever. How can you claim refugee status when you're not being persecuted? That's just fraud. And your answer to me, Mornay, is going to be, but I am being persecuted. No, you're not. You're not being persecuted. You're living in America on a visa. That's not persecution. We let you come here. Have you been mistreated here? Nope. So refugee status is for people not in the country who are being persecuted or fear persecution. If you're in America, you can't qualify. Now, you want to apply for asylum, you can legally do that, but good luck with that. That's not going to happen. So it makes all the sense in the world. What doesn't make sense is that people don't understand the categories. And I've covered this before. There's 4 different categories, at least, of people in this country. Migrants. Migrants are legal people who have followed the law, who've come here, like you probably have, on an H-2A visa to work. Temporary. We let you come in the country, pick apples, work on farms, work in Silicon Valley. Then we have H-1B visas. That's for the tech guys. Anyway, it's a temporary thing. That's a migrant. That's legal. The people they call migrants are not migrants. They're criminal alien invaders who violated our sovereignty and invaded our country. That's not a migrant. That's a criminal. And they're not welcome here, and they're going to go. So that's a big distinction. So migrant is a legal person. Then you have an immigrant. An immigrant is someone who comes to America with the intent of becoming an American, essentially. They come here, they get a permanent residency card, and then after a period of years, usually 5 to 7 years, they can qualify for citizenship, they apply for it, and eventually become citizens. Not easy, but doable. And there's lots of ways you can immigrate, but not just anybody can immigrate here. We do have the visa lottery program where people, their name gets pulled out of the computer. Woo! You're from Ghana, you get to come to America. Woo! You come to America as an immigrant, but you're on your own for the most part. Not a lot of assistance from the government because we expect you to make it on your own. So migrant, immigrant, then asylum seeker. Asylum seekers are people who are currently in America for whatever reason. And I always give the example of Mikhail Baryshnikov, who was a ballet dancer back in the 1980s and 90s and whatever. And Baryshnikov, he's in the Soviet Union, doesn't want to live in the Soviet Union, fears for his life, comes to America for ballet tour, runs to the authorities and go, I declare asylum. And that's what asylum is for, because you're here legally and you visiting or working here legally. I mean, it'd be like, during apartheid. During the apartheid era, if you were a consular officer in Los Angeles for the South African consulate and you fear for your life by the police if you went back because you were involved in anti-apartheid stuff, well, you could go and turn yourself into the FBI or to the local police and say, I'm seeking asylum, and you could possibly get it. So that's asylum. And then there's refugee status. A refugee is a person who is, and I'll read exactly the definition of the law. Here's asylum, and this is right out of the Immigration and Nationality Act. It's the verbatim. There's nothing here put in here except what the law says. Excuse me. Under the United States law, a refugee is someone who's located outside the United States, is of special humanitarian concern to the United States, as identified by Trump, Afrikaners, persecuted, demonstrates that they were persecuted or fear persecution due to race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group, and is not firmly resettled in another country. Lady has asked me if she could come here from Ireland. She's already got refugee status in Ireland. No, you're firmly resettled. Unless they make some kind of provision to let that's highly unlikely. And you're admissible to the United States. In other words, you can come here on a normal basis, not that you're not a criminal. So that's what a refugee is. So it makes all the sense in the world, Mornay. It's just that you're not aware of what a refugee is, and you're probably misled by the media and by South Africans who don't know their butthole or bumhole from a hole in the ground, and they're misleading you. So that's the difference. A refugee is a person whose life is in peril. An asylum seeker could have life in peril, but they're not actually in current peril. They're in peril if they're returned to where they come from. That's the difference. Okay? But an apartment is $700 to $900 where you get a flat in South Africa for 1,000 rand. Well, I don't know where you get an apartment for $700 to $900, Rainbow. We just looked at the apartments here in Carlisle, which is a small town in central Pennsylvania where the cost of living is not that high, and the cheapest place we could find, decent place, more than one bedroom, 2-bedroom, was $1,200. $1,200, not $900. That's here. So, I mean, you go to West Virginia, you probably find that. Somebody said bye-bye. Okay, see you later. Visually impaired, but a hard worker, especially with horses and cattle. We have our own water well drilling company busy selling to come over. I hope that you get refugee status. I hope you don't sell your business and then you can't come here. That would be terrible. Will it be a problem with his eyes? Why would it be a problem? America's full. We have lots of visually impaired people and blind people. You just want to put glasses on, but I know what you're getting. No, that doesn't have any impact on it. Okay, let me also dispel something else which hasn't come up today, and I think that's where this is leading. It's come up repeatedly in the past. Refugee status has nothing to do with your physical impairments. It has nothing to do with your sexual proclivities. It has nothing to do with your age, your gender, unless that's a specifically identified group. It has everything to do with persecution, actual or feared persecution. So if you're 2 or 92, if you fall into a category that's eligible, you're eligible. If you're handicapped or you're capable, you fall in the category. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So visual impairment isn't an issue. G-Man, one question. Your current qualification will be... Okay, I already answered that. Sorry. Okay. Virtual Western Cape. I sincerely appreciate all this information. To find this out alone would have been literally arriving there clueless. Yeah, gotcha. So good to see you're still on Windows 10. Windows 11 sucks. Well, I have no choice. This computer, the motherboard has got something set on it. I have to take the computer apart and switch it. Or it's not the BIOS; it's a physical thing on the board. It won't handle Windows 11. There's something put into it that I can't do it. My laptop has Windows 11 on it. I don't like it. Yeah. My husband's okay. I already got that. Sharon, does that help you, Sharon Mayer? Did that help you? Jan Fundria, for me, it's either mosquito-infested Sarasota or Irving, Texas. So they're going to send you to Idaho. Sim experience. Is it an issue if my parents who are close to retirement age apply for refugee status? Also, my father lost his leg. No, it's not an issue. They're going to have to apply if they want to come over because you can't bring them over. That was a question people have been asking me a lot, but not here. But people are sending me unsolicited questions and asking the same question over and over again because, 850 people contact me, all have the same question instead of watching the program where I can answer it for 850 people simultaneously. Everybody wants attention. You cannot apply for asylum for your adult parents. They have to apply. Every refugee arriving in Kentucky will receive... God, Gideon, you're just looking for trouble here. Software engineer, I know for a fact the interview process is different in the U.S., much harder. No, you don't, chappies. You don't know. You've had a refugee interview. When did you have a refugee interview? Charles Daniel, thank you for your subscription. Sorry, 2 adults and two kids living costs. Ask the answer, PH. I answered it while you've been here. I already answered that. You asked that earlier. I answered it. Unless there's 2 PHs. Certain states avoid regarding tornadoes. Yeah, Tornado Alley, Kansas, Nebraska. Bad area, yep. Equitable access land bill. Freelance Kate, there's all we have on that is a 3-hour audio recording. I haven't had 3 hours to eat or sleep, let alone listen to that. Ronaldo did a video on it. I guess he found time to listen to 3 hours. There's one news report that somebody sent me. It's just analysis. It doesn't include the bill. I have to see the text of the bill or get more detailed information or listen to the very grainy audio. So, no, I haven't really talked about it for Freelance Kate because I don't have information, so I'm not well informed on it, although apparently 75% or 80% of land is supposed to be reserved for black people, which is unconstitutional. It's also racist, and it's stupid. But I will be researching it, and I will put a video out on it. I don't know how soon, but I will. Firefighters are unsung heroes. Yeah, they are, and most of them are volunteers. Our fire department here locally is all volunteers. I think people are scared of being returned to South Africa, so people are forced to return. Well, why would they be returned to South Africa unless they're criminals? If you don't commit a criminal act, you're not going anywhere. Your status can't be revoked. So, unless you do something wrong. They're stealing the brass letterbox surround. Wow. Good Lord, that's crazy. So, wait outside for them and beat the living hell out of them. Michelle Janssen von Lansborough, will you be able to go back to school as an adult? Please answer. No, I'm not going to answer. Are you asking, can you do adult education? Yeah, we have a serious problem with illiteracy in this country for people who didn't finish high school. So we have adult literacy programs, and you can go. Can you go back to high school? No, you can't go back to high school. No. How old? You talking about 30-year-old? You can't go to high school. We can't have 30-year-olds in high school with 16-year-old girls. No, not going to happen. Although the Biden regime has been putting adults who pretend that they're 16 into our schools and they've been molesting girls. No. What will happen is you can go to adult education classes, which will qualify you for high school, or you can take the general education general equivalency degree, which is general equivalency GED, which is equivalent to high school diploma. But if you want the education, you'll have to go to adult learning. And every state is different. Are shopping coupons still a thing? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I use them all the time for BJ's. That's a discount warehouse. And no, BJ's doesn't stand for what you think it is, you sexual perverts. It stands for Berkeley Jensen. How's Michigan? Cold and full of some crazy Democrats, but beautiful, especially the Upper Peninsula. First responders are always awesome. They are. Yep. Detroit has a high crime rate. Yep. Peter LaGrange, our 6-year-old daughter is diabetic. Does the U.S. government assist with insulin? Will that be out of her pockets? I'm going to make a video, Peter, on the money. Okay, and there's all kinds of things. It's hard for me to answer this question. The U.S. government doesn't provide free insulin for anyone unless they're a specific category of people, like a 100% disabled veteran or something like that. So I don't know the answer on that. But no, they're not going to let you come over here and let you die. I mean, come on, use some common sense here. There are medical assistance programs. So, for instance, that's one of the acronyms that I put in my video last night. I did do the acronyms. I told people, where's that at? Come on. I got all these sheets here now for all this stuff. The best way for me to find this is this way if it's still open. Here you go. So you have refugee medical assistance, RMA, but you also have people qualify for Medicaid, Medicare because of their age. So even though they never paid into it, I have to pay for your Medicare. But that would defer some of the cost, if not cover it all. But I don't know. I don't know what insulin costs. I take it she's a type 1 diabetic. Repopulating your military with South Africans will work very well. We're not getting many people from South Africans coming over here joining our military. There aren't many of you that qualify. Only 17% of Americans graduating high school are qualified to enter the military. And I seriously doubt the South Africans are going to even reach that standard. Yep. Do you see the bill in government South Africa wants to push soon? Yep, that we were just talking about that, Andre. We were just talking about that. Peter Lowe, would debt be an issue? Finding a job has been nearly impossible. I don't have an income to settle. Being in Pickaway, how does one go about settling that? Well, Peter Lowe, that's not something we care about. I don't know the answer on that, but if you leave the country, what are they going to do? If you're from the UK and you have debt, that'll follow you. Your credit rating will be crushed in the US. But South Africa, I don't know the answer to that, but I wouldn't lose sleep on it. Disability does not affect refugee status. As far as the work you described, there is a well drilling company, dairy farm, equestrian center within a kilometer of light rain. There you go. What is an alien? Gideon, that's a real question, although I suspect you're trolling. What is an alien? Someone who's not a citizen. Someone who's not a citizen is an alien. And there's 35 from Shen. In the flicks, we always see the Americans drive rather large cars and buckies. Does a Bantam Bucky exist? Yeah, of course. We got lots of tiny cars. People don't have money to buy little tiny Chevys and stuff like that. Yep. Okay, that's where I was at. Okay. Jan von Drill, breaking news. Uber in South Africa has an Uber canoe. You can take anywhere in flooded areas. Visually impaired, but a hard worker, especially with horses and cattle. We have our own water well. No, I'm sorry. I answered that already. Yeah, there's not going to be a problem. Can a refugee work for the government? Sloat Steenkamp, I don't know the answer there. I don't think it's going to be a problem. You don't have to be a citizen to work for the government. You just can't get a security clearance. You have to be a citizen to get a security clearance. We're choosing town names where to be settled. How about why not North Dakota or, and of course, PA? There's lots of strange names for towns in America. There's even stranger ones in England. If a family member is a retired U.S. citizen living in Golden Valley, Arizona, are there job opportunities? Golden Valley, Arizona. I don't know Golden Valley, Arizona. Let me look it up on a map. There are lots of job opportunities. Unemployment's less than 4% in this country. Hang on a second. Maps. Golden Valley. Sounds like a retirement ranch. Golden Valley, Arizona. Here we go. There's one in Canada, too. And one in Minnesota. Golden Valley. That's near Kingman. Okay, I know Kingman. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of remote. Probably not going to be a lot of jobs there. I mean, but you're not far from Vegas, if you want to drive to Vegas. But yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of jobs there. Probably not. Let's look up and see what the population of Kingman is. Kingman, Arizona. It's not that much. Kingman, Arizona. Okay, 35,000. That's not a big town. That's a small town. That's what I figured. I was going to say 25 to 40 would have been my guess. Yep. Does it say anything about looking for finances here? Here you go. Okay, so the employers, according to the 2019 financial report, the regional medical center has 1,800 employees. The county hires 1,271. The school district, 740. These are all government jobs, not one private employer so far. Then the Mojave Community College, 700. American Woodmark, that's the first private employer, has 689. And then Walmart has 440 employees. There's not much there. There's no real industry here. Home Depot, when retail stores are your biggest employers. Okay, so American Woodmark Corporation is a kitchen and bath cabinet manufacturer from Winchester, Virginia, but they have operations out there. They have a $70 million in income. Oh, no, $70 million income at $1.25 billion in revenue. There's a super chat from Oosthuizen. Let me go back and see what that is. So, E. Oosthuizen, how does medical work in America? Do you need extra medical aid like South Africa? We have a disabled daughter. Yeah, so in America, you have to have medical insurance, and the system's been perverted by Obama's corrupt, Unaffordable Care Act. So it depends, though. Like if you're Native American, you're on a reservation, they've got clinics that are funded by the government, and you can use them. There are free clinics in America. They're usually not that great. They're in urban centers. They tend to be. But you typically have to have medical insurance of some sort. Historically, medical insurance was provided by your employer in the private sector, or if you had a government job. You have things like Blue Cross Blue Shield and others organized. You have MediShare, which is a big Christian-based one. You pay into that, and then they share the cost. A big pool of money. It's insurance, essentially. I have to pay for medical insurance. It was supposed to be free. I'm supposed to get the rest of my life free medical care, but they welched on that. They took that away from military veterans, and so I have to pay for it. But I don't pay that much. I pay about $700 a year, which is not much compared to some people. Some people pay like $12,000 a year for the medical insurance, and they're very limited what it'll cover. The rest comes out of your pocket. So yeah, medical is expensive because the whole system is perverted by the government who intrudes into it. So the reason for that is if you qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, which is elderly and or disabled sometimes, what happens is that the government will only pay a certain amount. Well, that's not the true cost. So let's say the bill is $1,000 and the government says we're going to pay $255 of it. Well, somebody has to eat the other $700, so that cost is spread out amongst everybody who is actually paying for it, insurance companies and those who pay in cash. And it's not fair, but the government is the biggest provider of payments for those sorts of things, and it perverts the entire system. So, new bill already in the works, race-based distribution land. You're late, Andre. We've talked about that several times. Will trades like plumbers be welcome? Of course. Okay, and have you seen the Airbnb price in South Africa? It's a crime. No, I didn't see that. Visually impaired people can work as air traffic controllers. I was so worried about that. I've been battling for 3 years now to get a copy of my metric. Every single time my paperwork has just been missed. Well, Peter, I forget what your question was, but it must have been about education. If you can't get proof that you graduated from school, you can always take the GED examination. It proves that you're a high school graduate because you meet the skills. For cheap living advice in USA, just watch Shameless US. You'll learn a lot. Okay. How do you join a Telegram group? Very easily. You just sign up for it. It's free, no charge. Copy, and here it is. Here's the Telegram group. And you just go join it. And I'd recommend it because that can take 220,000 people. The WhatsApp groups are full. I'm adding people because some people leave, and every now and then there's a new one, but most of the time there isn't a new one. So there's 22 people trying to join the second group, and let me see if I can add anybody. Nope, it's full. Can't do it. I'll go back to the other one and see. Okay, there's 120 waiting to join, and let me see if I can add anybody. Nope, it's also full. So you got to join the Telegram group. Okay. What's with my chat over here? It's acting up. Good Lord. What's this factory thing? So, Feener says, do you see societal collapse happening soon? Here? No. South Africa? I hope not. Jan van Rijk for cheap. Okay, I got that. Armageddon, what's happening about a factory burning there by you? Factory burning? No factory burning here. Don't smell anything. Pennsylvania fire. Pennsylvania factory fire. Abington Township. Fire reported aircraft fasteners makers factory in Pennsylvania. Massive fire at Pennsylvania aerospace plant prompts shelter in place order. Okay. Jenkinstown, PA. Schools were closed. That's what we talked. Jenkins, PA. This is a couple days ago. We reported on this a couple days ago. This isn't now. That's not here. Or not now. Excuse me. That was a few days ago. Yeah. So. Yeah, Jenkintown. I reported on that when it happened. I thought you meant something new. That's down just northeast of Philadelphia, so I'm not sure what happened there. Commercial driver's license South Africa, so must do the complete. I don't know. You probably have to do it from start. I don't know the answer on that. Did you cover the equitable access? Okay, now you guys are just pulling my leg, right? Freelance Kent, you asked that question when you came on a while ago, and I answered it. Do people think it's funny to ask the same questions over and over again when you've already asked the question? Sorry, 2 adults, cost of living, PH, I answered that question. You have tremendous patience. Look, I love my people, but if I was asked silly questions, the same questions constantly, I'd lose my marbles. Yeah, I hear you, Jessica. Okay, I've got 3 wives, but only legally. Okay. Thank you, appreciate the information. Only just found your channel. Okay, Sim Experience, I'm glad you found it. Thank you for being here. When your members are relocated to U.S., can we arrange a meet and greet? Loretta, we can arrange a meet and greet in South Africa. I plan to be coming back to South Africa in a few weeks down the road. So, yeah, I plan to do meet and greets. Yep. Yes, easy process. You have the skill but understand our road rules. Yeah, driving customs are different. Yep. Which states would you recommend for refugees? Nicklin. It's a fair question. But I can't recommend a state for you unless it knows something about you. I don't care for Durban's humidity and oppressive heat and the subtropical climate. I don't care for it. And also Durban's a nasty place now. But the Western Cape Mediterranean climate's fine with me. You find that in Southern California. So you want heat and humidity, go to the southeast, go to the Gulf Coast. If you want mountains, go in the Appalachians or go to the Rockies. If you want hunting, go to Alaska or Pennsylvania or, the upper Midwest, places like that. Yes, you must have a marriage document to apply for your partner. Yeah, we don't do this partner bullshit. This isn't the UK. Those people lost their minds. Is this your wife? No, it's my partner. Are you married? Yeah. Well, it's not your partner. She's your wife. Idiots. No, we don't do the partner stuff in America. You're either married or you're not married. You can't claim legal status for someone when you don't have a marriage contract. Salt Lake City would be preferred. Yeah, Salt Lake City would be nice, yeah. Arctic's going to get a timeout. I've been on multiple interviews in the U.S., not under refugee status, though the interviews was much more technical. Yeah, exactly, Chappie. So you don't know what the refugee interview is going to be. It's going to be very much focused on the persecution aspect of it, the origin of the person, who they really are, and then their background for criminal stuff. But yeah, but thank you for sharing that, Chappie. Obviously you've done a bunch of interviews for visas. Gotcha. Okay. Hope new subscribers will stay. Same. Hope so too. Been here for years, but didn't subscribe. And you never chatted, Em, but now you're chatting. Look at this. So let me take a look at subscribers because we had a few subscribers come in, and we're almost at 47,500. We're at 47494. So 6 more, we get to 500. Idaho is beautiful. Oh, it is. It's a strangely shaped state, but it's beautiful. It's a gem state. Very friendly, welcome community, good food and drinks, beautiful surroundings. Yeah, Jan Fundil, it's a very lovely place, despite the fact that all the Californians and Washingtonians moved there to ruin it. Pleasure to listen to Chris while eating biltong and drinking Coke. Okay, Daniel, cool. How might life partners work? Apply separately? You'd have to apply separately. Now, I don't know if there's a provision that says that you're cohabitating that might have a role. I don't even know the answer to that. Couldn't even begin to, but I could speculate, but I'm not going to. So maybe that comes into play. But according to law, you'd have to, it says here. But maybe they make circumstances. I don't know. I've answered the question about tornadoes twice in this broadcast. Cash Patel, I hope he gets confirmed too. Okay. Buy a dollar house in Detroit. Well, the problem with that is you have to spend a certain amount of money or they'll take it back. Yeah, trucking companies often will help pay for your training if you're going to be a CDL. We're always desperately short of truck drivers in this country. We've got like 60,000 Sikh who've come to America in the truck. They're a big impact in the trucking industry. Yeah, tornadoes can happen anywhere. That's correct. But not likely in most places. Thanks again for great content. Looking forward to more info, but for now, I've heard enough. Okay, you're welcome, Daniel. Yeah, it's about time for me to wrap up. Salt Lake, isn't that a Mormon town? Yeah, it's where the LDS Church is headquartered. If you want to call it a Mormon town, you can do that. Arno does have a ball and chain certificate. There you go. Dylan wants me to be his neighbor. Okay, and get your pets inoculations. Okay. Eastern Seaboard U.S. disaster zone weather-wise in the summer, humidity-wise. It's not disaster zone weather. We have no bad weather here, and humidity isn't a problem here. Just a few days where it's really humid, but most of the time it's good. And then the Northeast, not at all. It's lovely. Love to be a trucker, says Robert. I know a few South Africans who are driving truck in the States. Yeah, there are some here. What natural disasters are there in South Africa? The ANC, earthquakes, floods. No, I haven't tried that, Stephen. And another super chat. Thank you for that. A lot of little tiny super chats coming in, really adding up. Leovin. Hey, Leovin. There you are. Mr. Navalent. If I go, we far from democratic cities. Arna says, for another good session. So this is highlight of in my days. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you finally. Dear Beard of Knowledge, please get a Frappuccino to ease your throat with answering all the questions. Hey, Leovin. How you doing? How many girl truck drivers? We have lots of girl truck drivers. Absolutely. Absolutely. And contrary to stereotypes, they're not all lesbians. If you have a member who needs, would start with $2,000 a month. Okay. If you have a code 14, it's a simple conversion to drive in the States. I have no idea what that means, Lauren. Something to do with your CDL? Dylan, you're not speaking crap. Relax. You've been very quiet. ANC's unnatural disaster. Okay. What else we got here in the chat? I missed anything else? Let me go back and make sure I didn't miss these super chats. I think I got most of them now, if not all of them. So let me just double check. Supers. Okay. Okay. 2 adults living in the flicks. We always see people are worried about being returned. Got that one. How does medical work in America? If you need extra medical aid, yeah, you need insurance. They're Oosthuizen. But as I said, oftentimes your employer provides it. And there's usually a copay. So when I go to medical, because my clinic provide almost no services, the Army, it's a tiny clinic. We only have 1,000 military here, so it's not a big operation. And that might be 800 military, actually. So the clinic there doesn't provide a lot of services. So when they refer you for stuff, you have to pay a copay. I have to pay like $38 every time I go see someone. But that's cheap. You checked the poll votes? No, I didn't. Let's stop it, okay? Okay, we'll stop it there. How many votes we got? 967. Let me wait a little bit longer. We still got 600 people here. Could we get that to 1,000 votes for representative sample, and then I'll close the poll? Yeah, 68%. It's still running pretty much the same. Now the number of no's is declining. The number of no's was a lot higher. Now it's down to 7%. Wow. But that's not a representative sample. Okay, cool beans. Laptop screen totally bombed out. Sorry to see that, Em. Okay, I thought I would be okay, but with all my savings, it's only like $52,000. No, I'm familiar with it. I just haven't eaten it. I don't eat lamb. That's why. Your coverage on unselfishness in our plight in South Africa makes you a Colonel 2.0. Yeah, South Africa will miss the tax money, no doubt about that. Now we need 12 more votes to get to 1,000. Please vote in the poll. Just went outside to watch the recent Starlink launch. That's pretty cool. Go over the satellites going over. Off to have a brilliant night. Yeah, we're going to wrap up here shortly, folks. Just want to get to 1,000 on that poll. We need 12 more people to vote. Thanks again, Chris, for all your updates, info, and patience. That's a good deposit for a house and a car. Yeah, it is. It is. My wife lives with me in South Africa. We cannot live in her country either. Do you think she'll be able to get refugee status due to her relationship with me? Yeah, etc. That's probably going to be possible. I mean, if you or get it, you can apply for a spouse because they're not trying to break up family units here. They're cognizant that people are nationals of different countries sometimes. What cures feeling under the weather? Depression for you? For me, a good laugh does it. You know, I don't really get depressed. I've been bummed out a few times in my life, but I've never dealt with depression. So, I mean, I can't give you a clinical answer to that. I'm not a physician. I just tell you that, it's like people who need alcohol to be anesthetized to enjoy life. I don't need alcohol to enjoy life. I can enjoy life. I mean, I have so many interests in so many different fingers and so many pots that for me, it's hard to imagine being depressed, even with setbacks. I've had some serious setbacks in my life. None of my own making, and I've overcome all of them. So, I mean, I think that makes you more resilient. I had a really, really not a good childhood, and I overcame that. So, Miguel Fondavesto, we're going to Bry and Potki when we get there. Okay, Whiskey works. Used to wait and watch ISS come over. Yeah, people do that. And we're getting near 984. We're at 1,001 votes. I'll close the poll now. All right, thank you all for voting. And we're going to end the poll. Close, close, close. End the poll. It won't end. Oh, the page is frozen. Oh, YouTube. Good God. I just lost an article I was looking. YouTube. Okay, got to open up again. I can't close the poll. Ridiculous. Okay, here we go. YouTube. And I'm at, I lost a subscriber. That was at 498. Now it's at 497. So somebody quit on me there. Okay. Let me close the poll now. Oh, it did close. Okay. It closed. Okay. Well, I couldn't see that. Okay. Almost 1,000 likes. Can we get 8 more likes? Oh, let's milk the likes, folks. Give me 8 more likes. A SWAT tactical trainer. Can I continue in the USA? Been in 26 years firearm industry. I don't see why not, Dirk Duploy. I don't see why not, but there may be certain requirements for that. I don't know the qualifications to do that. So I think refugee status, if you're... Oh, we got 1,000 likes. Thanks for that. Okay. Where about in South Africa are you coming? Well, Candy 85, I'll be all over the country when I come. Typically, I go to Western Cape, to Gauteng, KZN, Northwest, and Eastern Cape. This trip would likely be Gauteng, Northwest, Western Cape, possibly to the Northern Cape, and I'm not sure about the rest this time, so we'll see. But yeah, I'll announce that later on as I get closer. At some point, the ANC is probably going to try to keep me from coming to the country. I haven't done anything wrong, though. I've been to the Free State, Arno, but I don't have a compelling reason to go there. I went to the Free State in 2022. I came from Clarence, drove over to Senegal, and went from Senegal down and hit the highway and went down to Bloemfontein. And at Bloemfontein, I stayed overnight in Grey Lodge across from Grey College. And I got a tour of Grey College in the morning, and then I interviewed Nas Botha, which was pretty cool the next morning. Yeah, and then I drove up to Vanderbilt Park, where I linked up with Monty Jackson and Danny van der Westhuizen. And then we had a meet and greet there. Ronell put that one together, if I remember correctly. Eugene van Wyk. All Savas have more American in them than any other country. Yep. When you're in Gauteng, I hope to see you. Well, Garth McCarthy, in Gauteng, we always do meet and greets in Pretoria. And typically have done in Northcliffe, we do a meet and greet at, what's the steak place there, guys? What's the steak place there? Is Marilyn here? What's the name of the steak place? I can't think of it there in Northcliffe. We typically do one there every time. And I will be staying in Northcliffe with friends if I come there. Anyway, I try to get people to come join me at the Cradle of Humankind on the first trip, and the only one showed up was Chris Murray. Groot Mariko, Arne Klein, Kellert, I go by Groot Mariko all the time. I used to live in Gaborone, and so I go by Groot Mariko and Swatrugens and Zeerust on my way to Gaborone. Yep. Very close to Northcliffe. Well, then you could probably come to it. What's the name of that place in Northcliffe? Somebody knows the name of that place. How about a tour of the school that produced the most Springboks? Which school is that? Send Steve Hoffmeyer a message that you would like to have him on the show. Okay, Jan. If I have a house when you come, you're invited. Okay. Thundergun. Thank you, Trevor. Thundergun in Northcliffe. That's the one. Yeah, we typically do a meet and greet there. I've done a meet and greet there every trip in Northcliffe. We've had a really cool location. The biggest one we ever did was in Pretoria, and Chris Marie set that up, if I remember correctly. That was after I did the the tour and the interview at Boer Cola and Boer Beer. And then later that day, I went to a bed and breakfast and then went to this place around the corner. It's pretty cool. Paul Ruiz. Okay. I didn't know it was 56. Okay. Apologies if you asked this before, but what are the feelings about Selanders members? It's a defensive organization, so I personally say no issues, but would appreciate your input. Are you asking my view? Okay, Rory, then you don't know much about me. That's fine. So when I started broadcasting on YouTube 5 years ago, you got all the typical Afrikaners and Boers, infighting, Boer Legion, Sightlanders, all this stuff. And people like, you got to interview Boer Legion. I interviewed Isak. From there, you got to interview, you got to Sightlanders. And I didn't know anything about Sightlanders. People were saying bad things about them because they didn't know about them. And I didn't know. I didn't have any way of finding out. So someone asked me if I would interview Vane Tutoy. I knew who that was because he was a POW. during the Bush War in Angola. And I said, that's interesting. So I'd like to interview him. So somehow I got linked up with him and he agreed to interview. So I had him on and it was a great interview. This is back in 2020. And we talked. And in the course of the conversation, I found out that what he was doing at that time was he just joined the Selanders recently with Gustav Muller to be the defensive organization coordinator. So he would coordinate that stuff, civil defense sort of thing. And so he mentioned at the end of the conversation, I said, oh, so you're with the Selanders. I didn't know you were affiliated with them. He goes, yeah, I am. I said, well, maybe we should talk about that next time. So then he came on and he talked to us about the Selanders and what they do. Well, that grew into when I went to South Africa, they asked me to come to Uppington. I went to Uppington. They used a local hotel, which had limited seating. So there were only 220 seats. And those 220 seats, people paid. They drove from Cape Town. They drove from Pretoria. People drove from Petersburg, Polokwane, the Free State, all over. They came up there, and we had a big event. They charged their members for it. We didn't get any money. I didn't get any money, but it was to pay for the cost of it. So over 220 people were there. Had overflow seating, and then we had this event, and I was there along with these other colonels up on a panel. And we talked, and Barry's was our MC. He's passed away, unfortunately. It was kind of sad to see. Really interesting guy. But we had this big event up there at Selanders, and it was very popular. In fact, if you watch that video, when I play the song, there's a picture of me signing stuff because people, they treat me like a celebrity, asked me to sign stuff. So I spent a couple of days up in Uppington with the Selanders. And then they were very kind and generous to me, and I got to know them better. I learned about what they're doing. And so, unlike a lot of people, I never trash them. I don't have any dog in the fight for or against them, but I talk to them all the time. And I have some friends that are members of Selanders. And the people who are their detractors don't know what they're doing and don't care. They just want to call them names. Anyway, they're not doing anything inappropriate that I'm aware of. So, on my next trip, we did an event in Pretoria East. We did a Selanders event there. And then we're supposed to do another next time, but it just didn't pan out because that's when the group split into two. Gustav Muller and then Wayland went this way. So my thoughts on the Selanders Civil Defense Organization are quite positive. I don't know what to tell you about Selanders now post the breakup because I've had no contact with Gustav Muller. I have no idea what they even do since they've broken up. I just know about the Civil Defense Organization. Wayland and I have a segment on this program that I created called Fireside with the Colonels, and we do that episodically. We just did it this week on Monday. So that interview is there if you want to go check it out. So that should tell you my thoughts on those guys. Does that help? Okay, I think it was Roy that asked me, what's this Kansas City, Missouri? Let me see what this is. Greetings.
Hi, this is Ray with the Veterans of Foreign Wars headquarters. Is this William?
It is. Can I help you?
Hi, William. Yeah, so I was calling. I was trying to get in touch with the quartermaster. He's not available, so I just thought I'd reach out to you to see if you had any insight. I had a member call. His name was George Smith.
All right, folks. Sorry about that. I hope you're still here and didn't run off on me. That was the Veterans of Foreign Wars National Headquarters in Kansas City. I don't get phone calls from Kansas City very often, so that caught me off guard. My bank used to be there, but they sold the mortgage, so I'm like, maybe it was the bank. So I had to take that call. It turns out we have someone who was born in 1937 who says they applied to join our post, and they paid an amount of money, which isn't the amount to join it, and they paid in cash. They have a receipt, and they were told to contact the National, and the whole thing was bizarre. It's simply, that doesn't make any sense. So now I've got to investigate that. Okay, so sorry about that. Thunder Gun. I never had a stake there. A lot of talk about war, says De Villiers Cooks. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that. And Zema of Omeraz is gone. Bruce Vincent says thanks. See you on the next show. Okay. Do not know how true it is, but according to my aunt, I am related somehow to Nas Bota. Oh, interesting. Please add AI song of you on a video that we can just click to see. Well, go to my Twitter account, and you can find that there if you're still here. At my Twitter account, it's posted on my Twitter account. I put it up last night. I can't see if I'm typing properly here. Thundergun. Yeah, there's my Twitter account. Okay, so you can go to my Twitter account, and then you can see it there. I posted last thing I posted. Family farmhouse in Swatrugens there got ransacked, destroyed by a bunch of useless people. I'm sorry to hear that, Arnie. Yeah, I know Swatrugens. Yep. Okay. Back in the days, 60 viewers, come a long way. Hey, Nick. Yeah, we have. We've lived all over South Africa, but been in Cape Town, Mossel Bay, Kimberley, and even tried to relocate to Oranje, but were denied as we didn't speak Afrikaans. See, that's what I need, Ken. Exactly right. So, you know, when these jerk-offs go, it's a whites-only town. It's not a whites-only town. It's an Afrikaners town, and it's a private corporation. You're not an Afrikaner, so you can't go there. I presume you're white, Ken. If you're not white, you can clarify that, but yeah. Okay, see you tomorrow. You're welcome. Thank you for the Thundergun Super Chat. 1,000 likes, we got it. Okay, all right. Oh, you're behind on the live. Okay, yes, Afrikaner only, yes, white. See, exactly. So all the lies about, and I always tell people from the very beginning, I've covered Oranje. I said, you can go. You just have to be an Afrikaner who was Dutch Calvinist and speaks Afrikaans and conform to the social norms there. That's all. It's like a community. You know, communities, make up their own covenants and rules. Not a big deal. Government still has options. Regrettably, the previous ANC will probably not allow them to think like. No, they won't think like statesmen, Sandra. They won't think like statesmen because they're just not that bright. They're just not that bright. Okay, I did say I was going to leave about 15 or 20 minutes ago. Sorry about that. I am going to leave now. I'm going to get something to eat because I'm starving. I might even take a nap and come back and do some stuff. You can visit and stay over at Oranje briefly, regardless of your race. Exactly. You just can't live there unless you meet the conditions. Understand nothing is for sure. Just warning about automotive electronics business, kitchen house, cupboards industry as medium sole owners. What is a medium sole owner? What does that mean? All those businesses there are opportunities here. So, all right. Running out of popcorn. Yeah, I hear you. It's dragging on me too. All right, guys, but he's not up to him. It's up to the State Department and to come up with this program with Homeland Security. They have to do it. But at some point, Trump has to say, hey, where's the program at? It's been 2 weeks. Tomorrow. Okay, guys. Cheers. If there's anything breaking, I'm going to try to look at that land thing and find out more information on it. Thank you for the super chats. There were a bunch of super chats. Not a lot of money, but a bunch of super chats. 1,000 likes. 8,000 people tuned in for this. Thank you so much. And 17 new members. Thank you all for that. Yes, Trump does have his hands full. South Africa is not a priority. Trust me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play for the 500 people left here. I'm going to play that again because that was pretty cool. Colonel Wyatt's anthem. Cheers, folks. Be safe out there.
Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies in his eyes, hear his voice. No surprise, retired soldier with the fight. In the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite. Join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves. He explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.